Welcome to the Mintcast. This is episode 2. I'm your host, Aiden O'Meara. I have my second guest yet here, second episode. We've got Robert KATZ.
Hey, what's going on? I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm pretty fantastic, actually.
That's good.
And we got our two wonderful-ass fact-checkers here. We got Nick Akawili from first episode.
What's up?
And we got Ramsey McFarland,
Hello.
our gracious host for today. All right.
Anytime.
And if you listen to the first episode, you're already pretty familiar with the structure of the podcast here. But I'll give you a quick breakdown if you didn't listen to the first episode. So we're going to start with a kind of quick, rapid-fire review section where we go through new release albums, songs, films, and then every now and then a TV show. We don't have any for today, but every now and then. And then after that, we're going to move into typically like a discussion section. It's going to be a little bit different today because we've got, it's kind of like the halfway point of the year. So you wanted to look at the best albums, songs, movies, and TV shows for each of our, from each of our perspectives, from myself and from Robert, of the year so far of 2018. So we're going to go right into that review section right now. And we wanted to start with the albums. So first up, we've got one that Robert's a little bit familiar with, but he hasn't finished it fully. Drake's Scorpion. It dropped on June 29th, 25 tracks, double album. What'd you think, Robert?
Was not a huge fan. Never really been that much of a Drake fan, and this album just kind of makes me feel the same way.
Okay.
So, yeah, just wasn't a fan.
Were you more impressed with side A or side B of the two? Like side A being like more of this like kind of low key rap, and then side B more like it's like an R&B record really.
I think I'm more of a fan of the R&B stuff, but I think that just might be because I kind of prefer R&B, just like in general. But
like you felt with side B a little more than the side A, like a little bit.
Yeah.
But you didn't love either?
No, I didn't really love either side. Just wasn't a huge fan of it.
Okay. I think preferred side A. Mostly because I thought he was like a little less cringy in terms of his delivery and his lyrics. Side A, I thought, was him kind of getting lost in his own fame. And it's hard to hear Drake talk tough now after he just got so fucking publicly clowned by Pusha that and it's so obvious when he's like he's trying to not reference it throughout because he knows if he pushes back on Pusha, he's gonna get murdered again.
Destroyed.
Yeah. So like lines about like I'm the best yet I'm the one at the top and ain't no one trying to challenge me. I mean you just got challenged and you lost, man. So it's just hard to hear him talk tough.
Lost is an understatement.
Yeah, he got fucking murdered.
Destroyed.
very publicly.
He was destroyed.
And then just like addressing what Pusha brought up on that diss, talking about how about the son that Drake had reportedly abandoned and not acknowledged really. He addresses it twice on the record. One with the closing track March 14th, which kind of follows in the tradition of Drake having this really emotional closer. And I liked that song a lot, actually. I felt like him being honest, and I felt like it's kind of like a look into his thought process from that time when he was going to have a kid. But the other time he addresses it is on the track Emotionless off side A. It's the fourth track. Is that right? Fact checker Nick. I think it's the fourth track on the record following Survival, Nonstop, and Elevate.
It is the fourth track.
Is it the fourth track? Okay. And on that record, he has like the one line where he's saying that he wasn't hiding his kid from the world, he was hiding the world from his kid, which a lot of Twitter fans have been like, oh, that's so deep. This is him acknowledging his mistake, but it's not. It's him. Making excuses for the fact that he's a deadbeat dad, and I don't really give a fuck if you're just coming to the realization like, oh, I should take care of my kid. That isn't impressive to me. You should have realized that when you had the kid. It's kind
of common sense.
You had 9 months to prep for that, and then also, it's a baby. It's not like knowing that it's Drake's son is not going to affect him. If he was 10 or 12 and you just realized this was your kid, I can understand that because, having to learn that you are the son of this very divisive superstar is going to be difficult. But he's like 10 months old. All he's going to care about is like, oh, dada. So it's a dumb cyclical argument that really just ruins his whole point, I think. And the delivery is so, emotionless, like the song is fucking called. But it's better than on some tracks, like on Non-Stop, the second track, where he sounds lifeless. It sounds like he's not even registering on the mic. Or on Survival, where he has like the same flow he had on that what was the one that came in alongside God's Plan? Diplomatic Immunity. Yep.
I think so.
Yes, that track. That same sort of boring pedestrian flow, and then there's a few that I liked. What?
Makes me yawn.
Oh,
it's just.
There was a few solid tracks though. Like, were there any like registered with you?
Honestly, not really. I'm just not a huge.
I'm not either. I think every now and then he's got a solid song, but generally, yeah.
Generally, it's just kind of.
Like of the 3 singles we'd heard before the album dropped, I'm still a fan of 2 of them. I still like God's Plan.
Yeah.
And I still think Nice for What's one of the best songs of the year. I love Nice for What. It makes no sense. Like God's Plan and Nice for What both make no sense on the record. They're more like singles. They God's Plan a little bit more, but Nice for What makes 0 fucking sense on this track list. But they're still better than I'm Upset. What is I'm Upset doing on there? It's one of his worst songs ever. But I mean, there's still like moments of greatness on here, like that Talk Up track with Jay-Z on it. With Jay's verse in particular is like a major standout on the record. Even though the mixing is a little off on that track, it sounds kind of quiet. It doesn't sound like it was mastered at all, really. But the or moments like the one that got me the most and that like offended me the most, one maybe his opening verse on Summer Friends on the second album, and then also that moment with Michael Jackson. Did you get to that part? No. There's a moment with Michael Jackson on side B, where he found some old studio recording from Michael in his later years when he was dying, and it kind of offended me, honestly, because Michael would not want to have that stage of his life be presented. He didn't sound good. He didn't sound alive, really. He sounded like he was dying, and that isn't the Michael I want to hear. I don't think anyone wants to hear that. And it felt like a cop-out, just being like, oh, I spent $50K to get some old Michael samples on here, so I'm just going to lambast everyone's like, oh, Drake got Michael. And it felt like a stunt to me. But overall, very mediocre record. I wouldn't say I hated it. I wouldn't say I loved it or even liked it. I think it's overall, it's bad.
It's meh.
Yeah, but it's not
It's there.
awful.
It's just there.
It's better than Views. I'll say that. You ever heard Views?
No.
This is his last album.
Yeah, don't really listen to it.
Don't need to listen to it ever. It's awful. So next up, we've got the new Florence and the Machine record, High as Hope. I don't think Robert's heard any of the rest of these. Have you?
No.
No. So I'll just move through them real quick. High as Hope. I've never been a massive Florence and the Machine fan, but I actually was interested in this record on the lead up because I liked all 3 of the singles they dropped. Sky Full of Song, Hunger, and Big God. Sky Full of Song in particular, I'm a massive fan of. This record I thought was fine. There's a few really nice moments on it. Florence's delivery on here is great. Her vocal talent's still really impressive. But most of the time, I thought the Machine's production was a little bland, a little basic, a little kind of homogenized. Almost every track kind of blended together for me. But those 3 singles are still really big high notes on the record, but they're also stuck in the first half. The second half of the album really falls off for me. But also, it's only 40 minutes. It blazes by really quickly. It's a solid kind of alternative folky pop record. And one of their best in a while, but still, it's okay. I think. Next up, we've got the Now Gorillaz new tape. I liked it. I wouldn't say I loved it. After I really hated Humans, their last record. It felt like David Albarn.
David Albarn.
Albarn? Okay, yeah. It felt like him kind of getting lost in the production, and it felt like him like making beats for artists that he liked. Like he just wanted to work with Danny Brown or Vince Staples, which those two tracks I actually liked. Like was it Ascension with Vince Staples and Submission with Danny Brown, right? Yeah, those are great tracks. Like there's a few good tracks on Gorillaz, on Humans, but it's just too long. It's just very meandering. The Now is much more focused. Only one song actually has features on it. There's the second or third track that has Snoop Dogg and someone else. Third track is Snoop Dogg and who else?
George Benson is on the first track.
George Benson, okay. Yeah. On Humility, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Rest of it is very much Albarn going in his production. There's a few great high notes. Tracks like Lake Zurich I thought was great. Humility, when I first heard it, I really hated it. It's grown on me a little bit. I still think it's very mediocre, and it was weird for it to be a single. But in particular, Lake Zurich, I think is one of their best songs in a long time. The production there is fan-fucking-tastic. And overall, again, it's 40 minutes, the same day as High as Hope too. But it's fine. It feels a little bit like he's bringing in a lot of the work he did like on his solo albums, which are a little more melancholy, a little more low key than the Gorillaz stuff, and far more mediocre, I think. And that influence of kind of stale folk and pop is noticeable on here. It's like I'm trying to blend that with that kind of the pop glitziness of Gorillaz, and I don't love it, but it's certainly better than his solo shit from recently. And then next up, we've got Legends of the Summer, 4-track EP from Meek Mill. We talked about one of the tracks, the fourth on here, on the last episode, Stay Woke, featuring Miguel. My thoughts haven't really changed on that. I still think it's Meek's performance is very good. Miguel feels totally unnecessary. I like a lot of the points that Meek brings up on there, even if his specific lyricism can be a little cringy, like always. The other 3 tracks on here, the first one I really deeply hated. What's the title for that one?
The third track?
The first one, featuring Swizz. I can't think of it. It's Legends of the Summer? No? You don't know? Helpful. Good job, fact checkers. Philadelphia. There we go. I thought it was a very mediocre track. Meek in particular sounds barely audible on the track. Swizz's production sounds very generic, trappy. What was the second track? Dangerous. There we go. Much better. He has a great flow on there. It's a nice, solid kind of nocturnal trap beat. Followed by is it 1 in a? Is it 1 in a? Is that what it's called?
1 a.m.
1 a.m. That's what it's called. 1 a.m. Very mediocre. I thought one of his most bland songs in a long time. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just kind of there. But overall, making it, you're gonna get us a copyright strike for this?
Please stop playing.
But it's a whatever tape. It's not as impressive as Meek's last solo record, Wins and Losses. But it's a nice kind of stopping step between his next full LP that he's going to be dropping. Next up, we've got Future's new tape, Beast Mode 2. I thought it was better than most Future projects. It's 31 minutes. Flies by it's very homogenized for the first half. The first half is unbearable. It's Future at his most inaudible. He's just auto-tune crooning for about 15 minutes. While in the second half of the record, he gets very introspective with tracks like, bring up the track list, please. Thank you. Dodo, which is a fantastic track with Young Scooter, which I did not expect seeing a track called Dodo been featuring Young Scooter. I figured it'd be the weakest track on here, but it's honestly it's pretty fantastic. There's some great bars on here, and then when I think about it and Hate the Real Me, track 7 and 9 of the 9, they're very introspective. They're him being honest about the divorce he's going through, his relationship with his record label, with himself. It's honest. I think it's honestly 3 of the best Future songs ever. They don't have like the hype factor that maybe one of some of his better songs do, like Selfish or Honest or Coming Out Strong. But there's some nice introspection here. They're not amazing high art songs, but they're more ambitious than I would say most Future projects are. And then last up, we've got Years and Years, his new record, Palo Santo. I was a big fan of this. I really, really enjoyed this record. It's a nice piece of sort of glam rocky pop music. I hadn't seen anything. I hadn't heard anything like this out of the UK in a while. And it's a solid record. I hadn't heard of the band before. They've had a few hits. I just hadn't heard them before. And I saw the record player, check it out, and it's a solid record. Again, not amazing. I wouldn't call any of these records amazing. Good job, Nick. But it's a solid record. Next, we're gonna move on to the tracks, and Robert has heard all of these, so we're good on that zone. What's first up, Robert?
Trippy Red Freestyle.
Okay. From IDK, what'd you think?
I liked it.
Okay.
Some of the things, like, better than Tupac and Biggie, and he said that he was better than, like, KATZ and J. Cole. I don't know about that.
Okay.
But I thought he was pretty talented. I liked his flow in it, and
have you heard IDK before?
No, this is actually my first time listening to him, and I actually was pretty impressed. I would listen to him again.
Mm-hmm. Check out his first LP. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I liked how I thought it was funny when he took the shots at like the XXL freshman and was like, oh, these are the guys I didn't make it with. Like, I thought that was kind of funny. Cause
I liked that he like, just like the title alone, he's taking shots at like Trippy Red's freestyle was so bland and mediocre that I might as well just like take his place.
Yeah. I just kind of liked that. Yeah. I liked how he took shots at some people, but then also I was talking to my friend about this track. He was kind of taking shots at just a bunch of people that just didn't seem like he was in position to be taking shots at per se. Like I don't know. I was just kind of confused. But I thought it was overall. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I loved it. I think it's one of IDK's most impressive tracks so far. He's probably my favorite Maryland rapper right now. And there's actually like a really good scene in Maryland right now. Excusing logic, but but he has like a nice, very street heavy, aggressive flow. He reminds me of like a young Pusha, honestly. And I liked that he went after a lot of people. It reminded me of Kendrick on Control back in 2012, before anyone knew who Kendrick was, before anyone had any like respect for him, and he was taking shots at Drake and Cole and he went after everybody on that track, and Jay Electronica and Jay Rock and Chris Rock, yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I was just saying that.
What?
Because he. Never mind.
He didn't go after Chris Rock.
No, I don't think he
would
went.
It'd be funny if he did. Want to hear Kendrick's Chris Rock verse? Yo, fuck Madagascar. But
I love Madagascar.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Like all 3 of them?
I like the first one. I don't know. I can't speak for the others.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's the point of the show. And then the next, what's
Verified by A$AP Ferg. I thought it was funny, like good on him, I guess, for getting verified.
Okay.
It was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of dumb, but I thought it was funny.
I really hated it.
Really? I mean, I just took it for what it was.
I can see why you like it though.
I just thought it was hilarious.
It's a joke track.
Yeah, I'm verified. Yeah, good for him, I guess.
I thought his flow was just so like unremarkable.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. Mostly
because like I loved his verse on that Power is Pleasant track with Joey Badass from this year, Pull Up. I thought he was so good on that hearing him kind of lower himself for a joke track was a little weird to me. It wasn't okay. I say I hated it in the sense of like it didn't personally drive for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a bad song, but I just did not fuck with it.
I just liked it as like a joke track, kind of. But yeah. Next is Focus and No Angel by Charlie XCX.
Okay, what'd you think?
I was not really a fan of them.
Oh, really?
I thought they were kind of repetitive. I wasn't a huge fan of the instrumentals, and I wrote it down here. It kind of sounded like something I would hear, like when I'm with my girlfriend in like Forever 21 or like H&M. It just sounded like something I would hear in one of those stories, and I don't know. I just wasn't a huge fan of it.
Okay.
But maybe it's just because I don't really listen to that.
Okay, yeah.
Type of music.
I liked it a lot.
Oh, really?
It reminded me, like the production in particular, reminded me of a Sophie record. It's kind of like nice computer pop, and I mean for sure it's repetitive, but I can tend to excuse that in pop music.
Yeah.
Particularly because it's so hook centric that like I loved her flow on Focus, just so nice, just so like kind of art poppy. I liked it a lot. I'll say that. No Angel was less impressive to me, but I liked Focus a lot.
All right. Night Racer by
Igloo Ghost.
Igloo Ghost. Yeah, I wasn't sure how to say his name. Sorry. This is the first time I've listened to him, and it was very different from what I normally listen to, but I really enjoyed it. I just thought, I just really appreciate how chaotic everything was. Like there's so many things going on.
It sounds like someone
It was
watched like 20 anime shows at once.
Yeah, it's just, it was very chaotic, but then it was very precise at the same time, and all of the like phrases and sounds and everything and instruments, they all just come together. Yeah, and I just really appreciate that. And I thought I really enjoyed the track.
He's probably my favorite EDM producer out right now. If you haven't like heard him before, check out his tape from last year. It's incredible. One track on there called Bug Thief was in my top 10 songs last year. He's incredible. For sure, check them out.
All right.
Yeah.
No, not the last track, but For My Crimes by Marissa Nadler. I really enjoyed this track. I thought it was very sincere. It was beautiful. It starts out with the like guitar doing the like arpeggios and stuff, and with her like soft vocals, they just sit very, very nicely on top. And I think like 2 or 3 minutes in, the cello just starts coming in, and it really adds to the emotion.
The track takes its time.
Yeah,
that's what I liked. It's not trying to rush its point. She knows what she wants to say, and she lets it sit. She reminds me of like a female, probably not Misty. She has a very particularly feminine voice, but it comes from this angle of being willing to take that risk of just stretching your song out, of never once letting like the music overwhelm the lyrics, but still having the music be very nice and calming in the background, and also just like you said, it's very sincere. It's very honest.
It is.
It's also very open about her past. I can't wait to hear her new album.
Me neither. I think it's
she's fantastic.
When is it coming out? Like
it's
September 28th, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, but I'm really looking forward to that. That was the first I've actually heard of her, and
that's probably my favorite of the tracks this week.
Yeah,
probably.
I for sure agree 100%. That was just a great track, and I just wanted to mention, being like a strings player, the harmonics that she added on the end, it's very subtle and easy to miss, but I just think that she used them beautifully, and it really adds on to the emotion and just makes the track that much better for me. So,
yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. I wrote down on this. I'm really looking forward to her album.
Yeah. We can move on to a less great song.
Yeah, taking a complete 180. Drug Addicts by Lil Pump. This song, well, I thought it was pretty awful. I'm not a fan of Lil Pump. Haven't really ever liked anything I've ever heard from him. And I will say his flow on this track was better than it normally was.
So significantly better.
Yeah. But it was just kind of, I don't know, it seemed kind of messed up. Like, it's kind of, I feel like drug addiction is a serious problem, especially in like the scene that he's in.
Yeah, because he's not just drinking or smoking. I mean,
Yeah, he's like
it's
talking about
like
hard
Zans
drugs.
and Perkies. Like I said, that
Yeah.
it fucking kills you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Lil Peep died to that, and he's just here glorifying it and rapping about it, sort of. But yeah, it was pretty terrible.
Yeah, because when I saw like Drug Addicts by Lil Pump, I was kind of hoping it was like, are we going to get like a maybe introspective song about him, like maybe being honest? And I was like, no, he's like, I've actually I can't think of a song as offensive as this.
Yeah.
Since maybe like that Hobson track from the Happy Endings one where he was like he like goes into an Asian massage parlor and gets jerked off for like 5 minutes.
That was disgusting.
The one where he's like, yeah, I'm so cool, I paid for sex.
Yeah, like good for you.
Yeah,
I guess. Like what?
Okay.
It's kind of I didn't like that one also. I know.
But this was like, it's someone like who's been an addict for a long time. Like it's like really deeply offensive.
Yeah.
To just be like, yeah, man, I'm so cool, man. I'm just popping all these pillies, man. Get it, man. It's like I just can't. But his flow is way better.
Yeah, it is better.
I could tell what he was saying.
It's like a good.
Least.
Yeah, I could. It's kind of funny. Like
I wish I did.
You can actually. Yeah, I wish I didn't. Like this is the one track I wish I did not hear what he was saying. But yeah.
And also the production was bad. I noticed that.
Like, it was bad.
Generally with Pump, you can at least expect like a nice beat. Like on like really.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but not on this track.
Like the song he also dropped from this I assume album he's doing. Eskeet It. That was a nice beat.
Yeah.
I mean, did it make any sense? And was his flow awful? Yeah, but
it's pretty true.
But the beat's nice. On Drug Addicts, it sounds like every awful
bad
trap beat. It's bad.
It's bad. Yeah. Altogether, bad song.
The video's even worse.
Yeah.
Video's bad.
Charlie Sheen. Yeah. So last track for this week is Impressed by Lil Yachty featuring Cardi B and Offset.
It's called Impressed? I thought it was called Who Want the Smoke.
Oh, wait. Yes, it is called Who Want the Smoke. Yeah. I wrote Impressed. I'm sorry. Okay, it's called Who Want the Smoke. I was actually kind of impressed with this track.
It's really good.
When you sent me that, I was like, oh crap, I have to listen to Lil Yachty. But I listened to it. It wasn't bad. It was a lot better than I expected. I thought it was a good path. And I thought I actually was really, really impressed. I thought Cardi B's verse was actually pretty good.
It's one of her best flows ever.
Yeah. And Offset, good verse as well. Yeah. Solid.
I mean, I always like Offset.
Yeah, me too.
He can bring up a trash song really easily.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's the best Migos. But with are you just do you disagree, Nick?
He's okay.
Would you with like Quavo? Takeoff.
Yeah.
You're a Takeoff guy. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know a lot of Takeoff guys.
I agree about
Offset. You agree on Offset?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually can't think of a Takeoff verse, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
I love Offset. But no, Who Want the Smoke is really good. I guess generally I'm impressed with Yachty as a feature artist. Like almost all, I can't think of a Yachty feature that I don't like. I almost always like him on someone else's song. But I also can't think of a song from him that I like.
Yeah, he's like...
until now.
Yeah.
This is a good song.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Okay.
That's it for tracks.
Now we're going to move into films. We've only got a few on here because a lot of these we're going to talk about in our next segment for the best movies of the year. But there's 4 that I wanted to talk about. I'm just going to brush through 3 of them, and then we're going to go kind of in depth with all 4 of us on the last one. But opening with the first Purge, it opened on July 4th, which felt like kind of a sick joke to me a little bit, because, I mean, this is a movie about the fall of America, in terms of like moral degradation, and I mean, you look at like Black Klansman opening in August on the anniversary of the Charlottesville death. That feels like an artistic statement, whereas opening this on July 4th felt like kind of like a sick pun, really. But I do think it's the best of the 4 Purge films. I like that it's very unashamedly and very aggressively black. It speaks very much from the black perspective. They got a new director in, Gerald McMurray, who did Burning Sands last year, another great film. And he brings a lot of style and flair to it. The James DeMonico, who also writes this one, he wrote the first three as well as this one. Did not bring as a filmmaker with the first three. And then the star, Alain Noel, who was in Insecure on HBO. He had kind of a support role in it. This is his first major film leading role, and he fucking knocks it out of the park. He should get a ton of action roles from now on. Is it a subtle movie? No. Is it high art? No. Is it entertaining as fuck? Yes. I would recommend it generally. Then we have 2 Netflix films. The first of which, I'll get the bad out of the way. Tau, starring Micah Monroe, Ed Skrein, and Gary Oldman in a voice performance. It's like a sci-fi horror thriller about this guy that kidnaps a woman, and basically in order to test his house's AI program. They don't really explain the necessity of her in the film. Gary Oldman sounds fucking asleep the whole movie. It's coming off his Oscar win, particularly, it's just so disappointing. Micah Monroe and Ed Skrein do definitely commit, but it's just so boring. It's like it's from a visual effects supervisor directed it. He did a lot of the work for a lot of the Marvel films and other movies, which never works. I can't think of a movie made by a visual effects supervisor that I've ever liked. You look at like Maleficent was like the same deal. So like whenever they're trying to get a movie together and they can't get a director, they just go to the visual effects guy. And the movie, it's shot horribly, but it's got some nice production design and visual effects for sure. But it's just so dramatically inert and just so lazy, and I forgot it the second it was over. I can't think of a single line or detail from the plot aside from the base premise. It's just so mediocre. It didn't offend me. It's just whatever. But a great one, next one called Caliber. It's a Scottish thriller starring.
Is this on Netflix?
Yeah, this one is. I would recommend this. It's called Caliber. It's directed by, what's his name? It's his first film. It premiered at the Edinburgh Festival, I believe. I can't think of his name. But it stars Jack Lowden from Dunkirk and Martin McCann. It's
Matt Palmer.
Matt Palmer, okay, is the filmmaker. And
the writer.
And the writer as well?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I don't want to spoil much because it's I didn't know about it going in, and I recommend that because I'll go to the kind of like the base premise. So it's like these two white-collar dudes, Loudon and McCann. Loudon has a fiance who's pregnant, and it's kind of like his friend comes and gets him. They haven't seen each other in a while. They've been friends for like 15 years, and he takes him on a they call it a stalking trip, which is just go hunting in this northern village. And when they go hunting, something goes horribly wrong, and they are forced to kind of reckon themselves with the guilt while staying in this village. It's a terrifying, intense, and emotionally damaging movie. Really shook me. Yep.
What genre would you describe the film?
It's a thriller, but it's never once like the guys are coming to get you gotta run kind of thing. It really is just like this kind of claustrophobic, which is great because it's set in a kind of an open space, but it centers so hard on the character's mind that you feel like you're being boxed up. It's a fantastic film. I highly recommend it. And then we're gonna close all the review sections today with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Marvel's 20th offering. It opened at $75 million at the box office. Their 20th number one opening in a row. Made about, I think, almost like $30 million more than the first one.
Is that counting Hulk too?
Which one?
Is that counting Incredible Hulk?
Yeah. That also
I love that movie.
They've had 20 movies in the MCU. That also opened number one.
All of them are good in my opinion.
Really?
I love
All of them.
I love all of them.
Thank God, Brian.
I think of like 5 I don't like. But
Yeah, I would kill Brian if he was here because we would argue about it for hours.
yeah, Brian hates them.
Yeah.
We'll have him on eventually. We can debate about those. What?
I'll fight him
Want to come on and fight him?
about the movies.
I like.
Not physically.
I for sure don't like Thor 2.
No one likes Thor
No,
2.
but
I don't like the first Thor, I'll be honest.
Third one's okay.
I don't like it at all.
I think it's okay.
I thought it was weird to open Thor's, like, one of the most epic characters in the MCU, to have him open in his, like, 90% of his movies in, like, a fucking New Mexico town.
He's so funny though.
I
He never
really
knows what's
like
going on.
Hemsworth is great.
He's good.
It's the movie around him that I just was kind of
I really like what
repetitive and
they've done
boring.
with Thor. Where
What?
they've just, I like how they've turned Thor into this badass. He's just kind of like a god, but I feel terrible for him because,
But he's bumbling, too,
yeah,
which is nice.
but he's experienced so much like tragedy. Like he's been through like the most shit out of like any of the characters.
But he's, like, the most comedic of all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
I didn't love Guardians 2. I wouldn't say I didn't like it, but I thought it was kind of bloated.
It was okay.
Yeah. I don't like Avengers 2 at all.
You like
did you
it?
like Avengers
like
2? Really?
You like
Yeah,
it.
wait, which one? Was that Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
Sokovia falling.
Oh yeah, I thought that was such a cool scene.
I liked
That was-
Ultron's performance. I thought James Spader was fantastic as Ultron, but overall was not a fan of that movie. I don't like the first Avengers, to be honest. You can have it. You can have the Baja Blast.
Why don't you like the first Avengers?
I think Joss Whedon is a boring as fuck filmmaker. I've never liked him as a filmmaker, outside of maybe Serenity. But he's just a very. I mean, particularly like the as it kind of raced towards the ending, it just became like, oh, we're just fighting this horde of enemies. It just felt like kind of dull to me. I don't like Incredible Hulk. I thought that's a boring
that was
movie.
Garbage.
Do you like Incredible Hulk?
That was actually hot garbage.
Yeah.
That's one that I haven't seen
think
anyone defend that.
Yeah, that's one that's
I
like
haven't seen
considerably
it.
better.
I haven't seen it in years, but I remember liking it.
Okay.
I think.
How old were you? Like 8?
It opened the same year as Iron Man. That was 08.
Really?
It was-
Oh, 8. Damn.
Wait,
Iron Man 2 sucks.
Wait, I thought Iron Man started the MCU.
It started it, then Hulk,
It was
then-
Iron Man and then the Incredible Hulk and
And
then
then-
Iron Man 2.
and then Captain America, then Thor.
It was Captain America and Thor the
Captain
same
America's
year.
last because it picks off of Avengers.
It was and then it was Avengers, and then it was Iron Man 3 and Thor 2 were the same year,
And then Captain America 2.
and Guardians was the same year.
Guardians 1.
I love
And
Guardians.
Guardians is great.
And then...
Civil War, I'm not a big
I
fan
love
of.
You do
Civil
not like Civil
I
War?
like the airport scene.
So good.
That's the whole movie.
No, it's not. It's like 9 minutes of a 2.5 hour
that's
long
why it's
movie.
good. That's the only
The
part.
rest of it is so bad. It's just
Really?
so
You don't-
forgettable.
Why
Particularly that villain. That villain is so useless.
Oh
how-
my god,
how
I
good Zemo?
love
Who was
Zemo.
the villain?
Really?
You
Why?
like Zemo?
Why is he there?
like,
Why?
Like,
Why do you
having
need
a
him?
human, like, just like the fact that he's so average, like he's just like a human
But
guy
why do you need him?
with a bones pick because he's
I'm not.
He's not as savage.
No, he's so dull.
he's such a beast.
Why?
He's not.
Why?
He literally
Civil
pits.
War.
His entire if you break down his plan, it's so much about coincidence. Every little bit of it about coincidence.
But
And like he for no reason extends the plan. There's so many moments where he could very easily win, and he just extends it needlessly. And that's the one movie where I understand Marvel haters being like, oh, they have no balls. They're like they don't like take risks. But that whole movie is them cutting their own balls off in every second.
No, he didn't have a costume on. That is him.
He was like a German
That
dude.
is him?
It was
Yeah.
Daniel Bruhl played him in the film.
Yeah, great
But
actor.
He's okay.
I like him.
I've seen him be good twice.
Yeah, I wasn't specifically citing Civil War.
Like
And
he was
you'll-
he was good in Rush and Inglourious Bastards.
And he only had like one line. It was like
Fast.
mission report. That was his like thing.
Oh, yeah.
He was like
Or-
mission report. And then fucking
He
PTSD.
no, but like that whole final fight. It's well staged, but ending it with like we're enemies forever now, Iron Man, and then literally cutting to Iron Man writing him like a sorry letter. Like
Yeah.
the movie just completely cut its own balls off on its own. I was like I did not like Civil War, outside of that airport scene. I know it's a hot take, but yeah.
You know what I think we can all agree on though? Ant-Man 2.
Ant-Man
Oh
2.
yes,
It's
Ant-Man
very
2
good.
is a very great movie.
I would never say great.
What?
I thought
It's
it was
good.
great.
I would never
I
say
thought it
great.
I was
Yeah.
only confused.
Wait, you
about-
said what? Like,
What do you mean?
yeah, it's a pretty divisive movie.
What?
I think it's good. I don't think it's like amazing.
No, I completely agree with
I think
Dave.
it's good.
I would not describe it as great.
I'm with Nick on this one.
Literally nothing in the movie stood out to me as like extraordinary.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, but
but I also
It's
didn't
under
dislike
the
almost
car.
anything.
When he was under the car,
Yeah.
and then they made the car big, and
That
it
was in
made
the
the other car
That was in
fly.
the trailer.
Was that in the
That was-
trailer?
that
yeah, that
in
was
the
in the
trailer.
trailer.
Oh, I never saw the trailer,
Oh,
but
okay.
that was so cool. I was like, "What? That's so."
The action scene that impressed me the most was by far the kitchen fight scene
Yes,
with
with-
the wasp.
Oh, that was
Very,
cool.
That's
very,
great.
very-
That was so
She
cool.
stole the show.
Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
yeah,
fantastic.
she was cool.
Michael Douglas was much better in this one than he was in the first one.
I was a little bit confused about their like.
Oh.
I don't really remember from the first movie that much, but I feel like they weren't really that romantic in the first movie, and then they.
No, that they were
In
by
the
the end of it.
By the end.
Okay, because
But
in the second movie, I was kinda
it does
confused,
kind of
like,
it earns it more than Fallen Kingdom did, but it does kind of do the same thing that Jurassic World 2 did, where it's like, oh, remember how they didn't like each other at first in the first movie, and then by the end they're in love, and then in the sequel we have the exact same arc for them.
Yeah, I was kind of confused.
That was kind of
on
a
that.
cheat. I didn't love that. It was literally, I was like, I feel like I've seen this exact arc because I have.
Yeah.
It was the exact same arc.
Yeah.
And like they give it like a base reasoning. It's a better reasoning than in
Yeah,
Jurassic World, but still, it was a little bit of a cheat for the writers. I mean, I just thought it was like it was a little bit forgettable. Like my main issue.
Yeah.
I think it's very, as you watch it, entertaining, light, breezy. But that's kind of all it is.
Mhm.
Once you walk out, there's not like much that like sticks with you. It's just kind of
One
I
second.
think you feel like that because when we watched Infinity War, we were completely like, we're like.
well. Also,
stunned.
but it has a moment you remember. You remember the ending.
Yeah.
Oh my.
The rest of it.
Did you guys see the after credits?
Yeah,
scene?
the after
Yeah.
credits.
Or the
scene.
wasp.
Well, I was saying for Infinity War.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about
okay,
Infinity
yeah,
War.
sorry.
Because I like Infinity War, I could not tell you what happens before the ending.
Yeah.
The first 2 hours of that movie are meaningless to me. After that, it's dope.
You didn't like Infinity War?
I liked Thanos.
He's
Josh
the main
Brolin
character.
is a
He is.
god.
Yeah,
He is
Thanos
He
is
is the
great.
main character.
He's great. It's just the movie around him is another Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I like
Yeah.
that.
Did you,
No.
Robert? Did you think it was better than Infinity War?
You gotta speak up, man.
The Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
You're farther away. So I'm sorry.
I thought they were different. Like I didn't think they were.
You don't think
I think it's
it's
better than the
comparable?
first one.
I mean,
Way better
I
than the
think
first one.
that.
Oh, it's
Oh,
yeah,
Ant-Man
I
and
think
the
it's-
Wasp.
no. I know. I was talking about how it's
Infinity-
better than
Infinity
War.
Oh, I think it's better than Infinity War.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it.
Like
might-
as a movie.
Yeah, I would say as a movie, it's better than Infinity War. I think I enjoyed Infinity
It's more
War more
streamlined.
because in Infinity War, I had no idea what was going to happen
Mhm.
for like the entire movie, and
Yeah.
it was just exciting the whole time. I thought
Yeah.
because I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's like crazy. Like, oh, but surely they'll like kill him now. Oh no.
They're not.
Okay,
My-
well, then
my
maybe
main-
it's not-
I knew
My
they were not
main
gonna-
issue with Infinity War was just it has the Civil War issue, but for a different reason,
Mhm.
in that again it has essentially no stakes at the end because I know they're all alive.
Exactly.
Like we know Spider-Man 2 is coming out
Yeah, that's
2 months
true.
2 months after
Yeah.
Avengers 4. Black
Yeah.
Panther 2 has already been announced. I think Strange 2 has been announced.
For sure.
Like
Doctor
all
Strange 2.
yeah.
I saw Doctor Strange for the first time a couple days ago.
Are you
What'd you think?
serious?
I loved it. It was
Really?
so good.
He did not like it. I liked it.
That's one of the other
I
dislikes.
thought it
for
was
me.
different from all of the other Marvel movies. It was
No,
more. It was
really.
more.
No.
I feel
thought
the
it
most
was.
different is
It's
Ant-Man.
visually
It was-
visually.
I think Ant-Man
sure.
is the most different out of all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say.
It's so
probably.
small scale
Yes.
compared.
Yeah.
Again, like I was glad Ant-Man they didn't blow the stakes up.
Oh,
I was
oh, yeah.
worried they were gonna be because the first one, if anything, like the stakes are lower in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
all about one person.
It's literally are we gonna get Janet Van Dyne?
Yeah.
Also, weird character.
Very, very
I
interesting.
did not love her.
Yeah, that's...
The worst thing about it is like,
That's-
what did she eat in there? And
Yeah,
how did she
I have
survive?
I have literally zero understanding.
Like,
of,
honestly,
like,
like,
also,
Did that just take you
also
back?
like
Yes.
the movie tries to write this off with a joke, like Paul Rudd being like, "Do you guys like put Kwong in front of everything?" But also the movie like makes no goddamn sense.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm trying to
Okay,
figure it
okay.
out. Like all like the whole science of it makes no goddamn
Okay,
sense.
so
It is.
obviously Marvel
like,
movies
but
don't
there's
make
so
any
much
sense. 'Cause
science.
They're freaking superhero movies.
Yeah.
Yes, but this
Ant-Man
one
is definitely the worst. But like,
But
if you're watching this film,
because the movie's like
You
it
can't
it
go in
hammers,
expecting real physics.
but it also hammers
Yeah.
home that it's about science.
Yeah, and
Like all of the characters are scientists.
Yeah, that's true.
and
which is-
another
ah.
flaw was like it feels like they dumbed down Paul Rudd, his
Mhm.
character,
Yeah.
because in the
He's
first
like a
one-
straight idiot. This movie.
Yeah,
yeah,
Like,
he's like-
he's like
in the first
legit
one, he was
dumb.
literally like
He's like a smart
a smart guy.
thief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this one, he's like, "What is happening?
So
Why am I
what?
here? Like, why
What?
am I
he
here?
doesn't
I'm
even,
here
like,
because
try
I
to
have
interpret anything.
like
It's
I
just
have these
And
like,
they
things.
also they used the de-aging technology again. That never looks good. Like when there's an older actor and they do like a
Oh.
flashback and they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, we didn't want to pay another like actor to play them, so
Kinda
we're just
looks
gonna
like him.
compute.
Oh yeah,
But
that was.
they look like babies. They look like super glossy and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
it's
you
very,
know,
so
like,
it's like
smooth.
shiny and stuff.
like Michelle Pfeiffer looks better than Michael Douglas did. Probably because she's Michelle. She's always gonna look.
Yeah,
she's Michelle Pfeiffer. She was great in that role. It has made no goddamn sense
Yeah.
as a character.
Yeah.
Also, like she can just like heal a person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
was that?
That was
They
that
caused
was
that.
Yeah.
They just like rush past that.
Like,
like,
oh yeah,
with
I
the-
learned this.
Yeah, like
You're better now.
They have the like they like write it off with a joke with Michael Douglas like with him being with Paul Rudd being like, do you know that you could do that? And then him being like, no. And it's like, well, yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's
so,
cool. You
yeah,
didn't know,
yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, I don't know either.
I don't-
So
yeah, we don't know.
it's weird watching this movie, and then she's dead. 10 minutes later.
Yeah,
It's like, oh,
and,
okay,
Like,
yeah.
and another
Yeah.
flaw is the second after credit scene, which is
I didn't watch it.
you didn't see the second
I
one
Wait,
saw the
it's a
first one
fucking
walked
ant.
out.
doing drums.
Oh,
Literally
yeah.
just
Like,
playing the drums
like the
the whole
same
time.
the same joke from before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He just
it was
shows-
in the trailer too.
And then he
That
like
was-
hits the drums
that was
and it
complete
cuts to
garbage.
black.
It was complete garbage.
I thought it was especially bad because of how good the first one was. Like I watched the first after credits scene, I was like,
Yeah, because it picks off from Civil War.
yeah, I was like,
Michael Pena was great.
Yes,
He
I wanted
was
more of
equally
him.
as good as he was
I
in the
wanted
first
more of
one.
his character.
That truth serum scene is genius.
Yeah,
That was so funny.
fantastic.
That was so
Yeah.
good.
That was so
That was
funny.
fantastic.
I thought-
Also, I love that T.I. is in a Marvel movie.
Mhm.
That's my favorite thing. Do you know who T.I. is?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Which one? He's the black guy.
He's the
the
like
second worker.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
With the
Like,
Russian.
yeah,
guy.
he's like an iconic Atlanta rapper, and he's just like a side character in a Marvel sub-series.
I love their characters.
Who's the Russian guy?
The Russian actor? No, T.I. is the black one.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Russian one is David Dastmalchian.
he was
Dude,
funny too.
I
thought
love
they
their
were both
entire
funny.
business. Like
Their whole
everybody in
business
that
was
business
so
is
funny.
It
so
took me
funny.
forever to get the ex-con joke. I just like
Oh,
didn't,
really?
I didn't think about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just saw ex-con and I was like, oh, it's like a generic
Yeah.
security company name,
'Cause
and they said it out loud and I was like, oh shit.
Wait a goddamn second.
Yeah. I thought of the three antagonists,
3.
I consider Lawrence Fishburne kind of an antagonist.
He's more neutral than
Yeah,
No.
but I'm like, cause he's on her side, so I'll kind of loop him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I'm always down for Lawrence
Yeah,
Fishburne.
me too. I love
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne.
He's great. I liked Ghost a lot. I thought she was a great kind of empathetic antagonist. I liked the fact that she it felt like they kind of earned her progression by the end of it.
Mhm.
I like that they never excuse like, oh, she murdered like a lot of people.
Yeah.
They never excuse it. It's a part of her character till the end. Who I did not like was Walton Goggins.
Yep.
Was he the Southern guy?
The white
Yeah.
guy.
He was
Like-
in.
The,
was he in
like, the
Hateful
mobster.
Eight?
Yes, he was. He's a brilliant actor. I just
Yeah.
binge watched all of Vice Principals on HBO. I think he won like an Emmy for that. He's phenomenal in that. And then Hateful Eight, like you said.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought he was
Yeah.
great in that.
Justified. He's good in everything he's in. And then to just this is like the third time this year he's been given like a really thankless villain role because he was in Maze Runner. He was not great in that. He was in Tomb Raider where his character literally doesn't want to be there. It's a major part of his character is like
This
I don't want to be
actually
here.
The plot
Yeah.
in the film.
And then now this, it's just he's being given like this sort of like thankless villain roles now. It's like a kind of a waste of his talent. I thought he was the most distracting part of the movie.
Very annoying.
Yeah, it's
He
like,
was
why
very
is he
annoying.
there?
Yeah, he
Like,
just
he's
kept
so
popping up.
annoying.
I don't need
Yeah, I was
you.
like, just leave.
Now I
Yes.
got
Can
you.
you not?
Like, why?
I did like it was kind of the same joke over and over again, but it worked. The FBI agent that Randall
The
Park
magic.
played,
I love
Jimmy
Randall
Woo.
Park.
He was great.
So funny.
I did like that.
The magic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Going
magic.
every
Oh my
time.
god,
That was so
nice.
What
The-
did
Can you like nod?
yeah, can you not? That was so funny. He
The,
has the website up on his computer.
the best one was by far the that do you want to get dinner though? Like, do you want to?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
so
grab dinner.
awkward.
Wait, you'll see me. Wait, like, are you asking me out on something?
No, like when I arrest you, like again, like
So not
Oh.
dinner?
no, no.
Wait, do you want dinner?
That was so funny.
That was great.
Paul, he's because Rudd. It was an inspired casting choice. I think they're consistently kind of letting him down. Like they could give him more to do, but it was still a smart choice because Ant-Man shouldn't be this like world-class actor. I mean, not saying that he's a bad actor, but he's not like, you know.
Yeah, not amazing.
Yeah, you're not putting Downey in that role.
Yeah. You're not like. Yeah. I was just gonna say Leo, and I don't know why I was gonna bring him up. That's all I know.
Never want to see Leo do a superhero movie. Never want that in my life.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah. Speaking what about the Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker movie? That sounds dumb as fuck.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Have none of you heard of this?
No.
Joaquin Phoenix is playing the Joker
Oh,
in like a prequel
I
movie.
spell Joaquin.
What?
Joaquin J.
JOAQUIN.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, no, it's like Todd Phillips is directing it.
He's actually doing it.
Yeah, they're shooting
A
in
prequel.
April
For who?
for the Joker.
As the Joker.
It's like set in the 80s. It's like a crime
Oh
story.
my god, this
Alright.
is happening.
Yeah.
It sounds.
Have none
it
of
is
you heard
dumb
of
as-
this?
I haven't
it's
heard
dumb
of
as
it,
shit.
no.
Yeah.
That is.
From the director of The Hangover.
And it's written
What
by the
the
guy,
fuck?
Scott Silver, the guy who did 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alright.
Still sounds awful.
Yeah. I mean, you got Joaquin Phoenix, so
Don't care.
still
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah. Well, I think we kind of covered all of Ant-Man really. At that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
There's not like much to talk about. It's again,
Another
it's
good
like,
character I like is the daughter.
she was great.
She
Forgot
was
about
really
her.
good.
She was
Really good
great.
character.
She was really good.
Yep.
Yeah,
She's
I liked
adorable.
like the mom and the dad's interplay was pretty good too. Like and the stepdad.
Yes, stepdad.
That's so funny.
Judy Greer and Bobby Cannavale.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
Very good characters.
It has like one of the biggest casts in terms of like there's like a lot of great character actors in it.
Yeah.
They don't get like a lot to do, but they're there.
But you like the characters.
Yeah, outside of
Like
Walton
the-
Goggins, I liked
Yeah. He
a
was,
lot of the performances in it.
Okay, I don't know if this is like considered a good scene or not, but I really liked the part where the after their little maze adventure, that slide.
Oh,
Oh,
that
yes.
was so
That
cute.
was so cool.
That was
I wanted to do that.
I feel like that's every kid's dream, you know, just to go on a giant slide down
it
your
did
entire
remind me
house.
of like a lot of like those cringy like box fort videos on YouTube.
Dude, that wasn't cringy.
That was
that
cute.
that
great.
wasn't.
It was
Like, but
cute.
when I was
That was
wa-
like cute shit.
but
right
when I
there.
was watching it, it reminded me of like all the guys like Fortnite box game, like always like dumbass YouTube channels.
Yeah.
I really liked how Paul Rudd adapted to being I really like that he first of all stayed in house arrest.
Oh yeah.
He was so dedicated to his daughter.
Yeah, that was nice.
He was
Yeah.
I don't know, I loved him as a dad. I want to be my dad.
It's weird seeing him be jacked. It's really weird.
He's not. He's more lean than.
No, he's jacked.
Is he really?
He's big.
Not like.
he's big.
He's
as
big.
an
He's big.
That's how you know he's
I wouldn't.
jacked.
I wouldn't say like jacked.
And he's gotten bigger too. I saw him in a movie that he filmed after this called Ideal Home a few weeks ago, and he's like massive in that movie.
He's like Chris Evans.
Yeah, no, yeah. Also, have you seen him with a full beard?
Yeah, I like yeah.
He'll turn a dude right there. It's fucking impressive,
Turned into.
dude.
Oh.
Turned. Yeah, dude, he turned.
All
Dude, and he's
right.
49, right?
Holy shit! Are you
Yeah,
guys
he is
serious?
49 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Almost.
And he wasn't like in shape before this.
He was just skinny.
That's
No,
incredible.
he was like according to him he was like a little overweight.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and then he shedded all of it and got fucking shredded. He's a big dude.
Fucking almost 50
Respect.
years old.
Yeah, it's him and Brolin. I just saw,
Brolin.
my
Yeah,
God.
they're both.
I just saw
Yeah.
Brolin in Soldado, the Sicario sequel.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Holy
Oh my
shit,
God.
he's
Brolin?
massive.
I
Brolin-
love Brolin.
He's
Brolin
so
is
good.
a god.
I love Brolin.
He's gotten better.
Cable.
Thanos
What's his
and-
name
In Soldado?
Yeah.
Matt
Matt
Graver.
Graver. Yeah, whatever.
Or Graves or some shit.
I love Josh Brolin.
He makes me turn.
He's a big
Respect.
dude. He's a big dude.
Dude, I love him.
And he's James Brolin's kid.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let me see.
I saw him in Psych. I saw James Brolin in Psych, and I was like, wait a second, you kind of look like Josh.
He's his dad.
Oh.
Okay, we should move on.
All right.
All right, we're going to move into the second show of the podcast. We'll be right back. Bye. Welcome the fuck back. This is the second half of the podcast. What we're going to do first here is because I already said we're a little more than halfway through 2018. So we want to kind of like have a look back. We're going to look at each of our top 10 songs and albums of the year so far. And then Robert he's more like into music than I would say movie or TV.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing my lists for movie and TV real quick.
Way more music.
And then after that, we will go back into what we do every show, which is having this long form discussion plus story time, all of that. We're gonna start with our honorable mentions for the best songs of the year so far. Robert, what's yours?
Well, I didn't exactly know we were supposed to have an honorable mention, or 2 or 3, so I'm just going to include one that I was going to put on my list that I can think of off the top of my head, and that is Childish Gambino, his This Is America track. It was a really good track, but I just feel like the video with the track together is what really made it for me, and alone as a track, it was good, but it wasn't anything like super... I mean... I don't know, I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but it was okay. It was good. But the video is what made it for me.
Okay.
That's all for my honorable mentions. I don't know I was supposed to have them, my bad.
Okay. I have like 5. I'm just gonna rattle off real quick. Post Malone's "Rich and Sad." I thought it was by far the best melody off that record, the best ballad. Just that hook is just so nice. You ain't never cared about that bullshit anyway. Like it's a nice little flow. It was like kind of introspective. It's a nice driving song. Again, is it high art? No. But I do think that we're gonna get into his album later. If it was on your list.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a major improvement over his last record, and this song in particular. Mac Miller's Programs, one of 3 singles he dropped so far this year. It's a nice bump. He's got a unique flow. No one sounds like Mac Miller still. I think it's great. Yeah, Right, Joji's new single. I thought it was a nice little club, kind of like club sweet little song. His flow on it is much more impressive than I think he usually. I've never been like a major Joji guy. I've always found his mixing was kind of bad. But on here, the mixing sounds nice. Nick's offended apparently.
Me too.
I think he has a great voice and he's a great writer, but I've always thought his mixing just fell off. Whereas on here, then Sky Full of Song, Florence and the Machine. Already talked about it last week. It's a fantastic song. It's beautiful. And then Now Only, the title track off Mount Erie's 6-song EP. I thought this was a beautiful, haunting, painful song about him being honest about the hype his last album got, talking about how he made a song full of death and sadness, and it was still it was his biggest album to date, and it actually brought him a lot of fame, talking about the death of his wife. It was him being very deeply honest with it. And then it's like the hook of just some people die, some people get hit by trucks and die, some people get cancer and die, people just fade away. Like, it's deeply, deeply sad. And I love that he's one of Phil Elverum, who is the singer and musician behind Mount Erie. I think he's maybe the most honest artist alive right now. And it's a beautiful, beautiful song. And then we're going to see Robert's 10, 9, and 8 best songs of the year so far.
Yeah. So my number 10 song is Better Now. Post Malone off of his record Beer Bongs and Bentleys.
The one that made T Swifty jealous.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought it was a really good track. You know, his vocal performance on it I thought was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the beat, and I felt like it was really sincere, especially compared to a lot of his older music. Post Malone's, that is. Like, I was never really a huge fan of Post Malone, but I feel like, well, this is his records, which we'll talk about more, but this track in particular just really made me just like him more.
There's a few great tracks on record.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
My number 9 is Nothing in Return by this Toronto-based guy who goes by Monsoon. I think this is his debut single, and I found it on YouTube, and I really enjoy it. I actually found it just a couple weeks ago, and I feel like it could have been higher on my list had I had more time to listen to it and stuff. It's really...
Let it sit with you.
Yeah, just let it, if it sat with me more, but I really enjoy it. I would suggest you all to check it out because it's not that big, but it's really...
Yeah, I haven't heard of him before.
Yeah, I think... I'm not sure. They say in the description it's his debut single, and there's also a really nice video that goes along with it. It's more of it's like a indie pop song, and there's like, the loop is really good that plays, and then his vocal performance I think is really good.
Okay.
My number 8 spot is Loverboy by Fum Viperit. I really like Fum Viperit. I found him through his track, which is called Long Gone.
Okay.
And it's another more indie pop artist. I've been really listening to a lot of indie pop this year. I really enjoy it.
Okay.
And it's just kind of a sappy, like, love song about him, and there's a video with him and this girl, and I just really enjoy him and his vocals, and he's also pretty good at guitar, and he's a cool guy.
He's a Thai artist, right?
Yeah, I believe he's Thai, and he's cool.
My 10, 9, and 8. My number 10 slot goes to Janelle Monáe with the track Django Jane. I'd thought about a lot of songs. I'll get into her album a little later. But there's a lot of songs on her record that I thought about. But the two that stuck with me were two of the singles she got before, Make Me Feel, and this one, Django Jane. And I want Django Jane because it's the most distinctly rap of all the songs on the record. And it's it's maybe the most feminist rap I've ever heard. It's charismatic and aggressive and cutting, and it feels Janelle Monáe embracing that side of her as the most feminine rapper alive. And it's just I can't think of a rapper with this much charisma alive. And just some of the bars on there, they've hit me for the past I think it's got like February. It's been like 5 months still, and I still bump it almost every day. It's a fantastic song. And then my number 9, my favorite song and the only one I loved off J. Cole's K.O.D., the closing track, 1985, Intro to the Fall Off. It's the first time I think I've ever heard a song in rap that is not a diss, nor is it a cosign. It's an advice track. It's him talking, I think pointedly, probably to Lil Pump. Yeah. Maybe just in general to the...
Did you see the interview with Lil Pump?
Yes.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good interview. But it feels like him talking, I mean, to Lil Pump near the end, particularly when he's talking about, like, I heard you put my name in your mouth. And that was when Pump would go around and say, when Pump went to his shows and had his fans chant, fuck J. Cole. But mostly it was like him just giving advice to this new wave of SoundCloud rappers. There's so many good lines on here. I'm glad you made it at your mama house. I hope you don't have to buy your mama house. Like, it's just like, it feels like him talking, like, very pointedly to this. Like, I don't know, I can't think of a song that sounds like it. That is so mature And I tend to hate talking about J. Cole as like a mature artist because I don't think he is. Most of the time, I think he's kind of a little conspiracy theory, kind of lost in his own head sometimes. But this song, I think it's one of his best songs ever. And then my number 8, I think maybe the hypest song of the year, Anderson .Paak's Bubblin'. The video over this is fucking batshit crazy. It's awesome. And he has so much charisma on here. Just that bubbling, oh, bubbling. Like, it's just like his flow is so impressive, and his blend of R&B, soul, like late 70s funk, and then this modern trap sound is just so unique. I know like some people have had like that vague Chance comparisons. I don't see that shit at all. I think because they blew up the same year, I think people just kind of loop them together. But they're so wildly different, and this is one of his best songs ever. And I can't wait to see what his album follow-up to Malibu is. And now we're going to see your 7, 6, and 5.
All right, so starting at number 7, my my seventh favorite is the song called Sunnyside by Cuco. And Cuco is a Latino singer, songwriter from SoCal, and he is fantastic. His songs are always very kind of lovey and more dreamy than a lot of like Latino music, and he kind of acknowledges that. And I feel like, or I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about how in his culture a lot of people are trying to be like that big macho man, and that's not him at all. And I just really respect that. This track was really good. He starts off in the first half of the track with these like beautiful arpeggios singing, and in the second half of the track it's just this guitar solo. He's also, not only is he a great singer, he's a really just fantastic guitarist, and he usually ends his songs with either a guitar solo or a trumpet solo, and it's just fantastic. I really hope he comes to the East Coast soon, because I would just love to see him live. My number 6 spot is Tanya by Brockhampton. This song, I don't really know if it's officially like out yet, but no, it was on Fallon, and the performance was just great. I believe it's their first track since the Amir being kicked, and so I feel like a lot of eyes were just looking at Brockhampton for a good performance, and especially live, and I think they just blew it away. I think they did a fantastic job. It felt to me like all of the verses were great. The Bareface sounded fantastic live, and I just think it was great. And to me, it's just kind of
like I thought Merlin killed it too.
Oh, for sure, Merlin was fantastic, and I feel like a lot of people were very skeptical once Amir was kicked. Like, oh, is Brockhampton going to be trash now? Because I know a lot of people, their favorite was Amir, and I was there saying like, guys, I know it sucks. I mean, it doesn't really suck.
I thought he was the weakest.
Oh, really?
I thought he was the most, like, he only had one lane. I thought all he could do was aggro rap.
Yeah.
Everyone else can do, like, 20 things. You look at Kevin can do aggro rap.
Oh, yeah.
He can do singing. And he can do, like, hype singing or, like, very emotional, like, low-key singing.
Yeah.
You look at Matt Champion has so much diversity. Dom, Merlin, they all can do so many things where Amir could just do hype rap.
Yeah. I guess you're right, but I did.
Not that he was bad.
No, I did find though that a lot of my favorite verses from.
Yeah, I mean Junkie.
Yeah, I mean a lot of my favorite verses from Brockhampton was Amir, but this really just kind of made me happy. Like, Brockhampton's gonna be okay, I think, I'm not sure if it was announced before that Jimmy Fallon, but they do have an album coming out. I guess
Series of Our Love.
Yeah, I think Puppy they just completely scrapped.
Yeah. And
so, yeah, I'm just really looking forward to that.
Did you like their new track? They dropped it for the weekend?
I liked it. It wasn't as good as Tanya, I feel, but I still thought it was really good.
What'd you think of Joba's verse?
Joba's verse.
Sort of like weird magic.
Yeah, it was.
Cheese.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting.
It was.
I thought Dom's verse was great though.
Yeah, I agree.
And the Kevin hook was amazing.
I agree as well, and I really liked the beat. Yeah, the beat was fantastic. So yeah, I'm really excited to see. I was a little bit confused. Like they said something about they're gonna be releasing music all summer, and I was kind of. And there was like Beats or something. Maybe they have a deal with them. I don't know. I was confused about that.
Yeah, they signed to RCA.
Okay.
So
yeah.
They're probably going to be expected to have an album out over the summer.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for that.
I wouldn't be shocked if they just stealth drop it randomly.
Yeah.
If just some Friday in late July it just comes out.
I would love that, and I am ready. And if they would choose to do it this Friday, wouldn't object. I'm excited.
They have enough hype; they could just do it.
Yeah, they could. I'm excited.
Pull a Beyonce.
Yeah. Am I doing my number 5?
You do 7, 6,
yeah, okay,
5.
5. Yeah. My number 5 spot is a song by the Buttertones, which is my favorite band, and it's called "Darling, I Need Time, but I really don't know why," or I don't really know why. Sorry, but yeah, the Buttertones I've been following for years and years and years, starting with their self-titled Buttertones, and I just fell in love with them. Honestly, they're self-titled. I love every single track on that album, and I've repeatedly been listening to them the past 2 or 3 years, and I've just been waiting for them to come to the East Coast. And then in March, they actually had a DC concert, and it was their first concert not on the East Coast, but in DC. And so I went to it, and this album, Midnight in a Moonless Dream, wasn't out yet, but they played some songs from it. And one of the things I just really admire about them is how classy they are. They come out in the hot evening in March, wearing full suits, and they have a certain.
I saw a recording of them live.
Yeah, they're really good live, and so I think they played this song live. They didn't say the name or anything. They just said, "Yeah, we're gonna play some songs from our new album. Are you guys ready?" And of course, everyone was super hyped, and I really like this song. Their record had a lot of very kind of aggressive and angsty songs, which I really loved, and this one is one of their more lovey songs, and I really like. I mean, honestly, you guys can probably tell from this list, I like more lovey songs, and this one I just thought was great. Of course, with London on the saxophone, it just adds a lot, and he is a great addition. I guess it's kind of an old addition at this point, but I remember when he joined, and yeah, it's just great. I really enjoyed this song.
Okay.
And I love the Buttertones. Check out the Buttertones.
Okay, cool. Yeah. My number 7 is, I know we shit on Drake earlier, but like I said, I do think that Drake's "Nice for What" is one of the best songs of the year. I do think it's Drake's best song he's ever made, I'll be honest. The beat on this is fucking fire. That loop at the end is genius. His performance, he's so feminist on here. He's so lovingly feminist, which is insane considering how I thought deeply sexist he was throughout much of Scorpion. But on this song, it's one of the most proudly feminist male songs I've heard in pop music in a long ass time. And just again, the amount of charisma he has on here, he doesn't sound awkward like he can a lot of the time. It's his best pop song ever. It's the best song ever. And my number 6 is from Father John Misty's new album, God's Favorite Customer. The song is called "Please Don't Die." There's a lot of great songs on here. I loved Mr. Tillman and The Songwriter and a few other songs, but this one is my favorite by far. It's this song written from the perspective of his wife telling him, just please don't fucking kill yourself, because he acknowledges how lost in his own mind he can be, how overly philosophical he can be, how sometimes when he gets lost, he can resort to drinking or pills, and it's just his wife saying, "Please don't die, please don't leave me." And it's an aggressively sad but also loving and sweet song that I think is one of his best ever. It's a fantastic track. And my number 5 is the opening track from Kanye's Ye, I Thought About Killing You. While I do think the second half certainly does it make lyrical sense? No. Do I think that kind of represents the point of the song? Yes. The first half is some of the best Kanye's ever been. It's sad and honest and revealing. It's one of his best openers ever. It immediately sets the stage for what you're about to hear. And just that line about how I should, he's saying like, I love myself more than I love you, and I should be saying that I'm struggling to love myself. That isn't true. I love myself way more than I love you, so you should not want to kill you, you know? Like it's saying, like it's just so open, which is so rare for him. And like the first time I heard it, I was just so taken aback. And then the beat, it sounds like anxiety and depression rolled into production. It's just fucking fantastic.
It's great.
Yeah. All right, now we're gonna hear your 4, 3, and 2 before we hear each of our number ones.
All right, my number 4 is Okra by Tyler, the Creator. I listened to Tyler so much last year. Like I listened to Flower Boy before it came out on the leak, and while the quality was kind of sketchy, because I was really excited for the album.
You gotta wait.
But it was fantastic, and I love what he's been doing with his clothing brand and everything he's been doing with the Golf Le Flores, and
his shorts are so nice.
Yeah,
they're so nice.
His fits are great and everything, and in this track he just tells everyone that, you know, like, I'm great. I've done a lot of great things.
He's cocky.
And, oh yeah,
because he's finally earned being cocky.
Yeah, and I feel like everything he says on this track, I'm just like, yeah, you did good.
Yeah,
like you did good, man.
Because like for a while, Tyler was sort of this outcast.
Yeah,
where he'd dropped 2 pretty good records with Goblin and Wolf. And then he had a total misfire mess of an album.
Yeah,
with Cherry Bomb.
I liked some of Cherry Bomb.
There's a few good songs in there.
Some of it was just kind of
obviously.
Some of it was just a bit loud, and like the production messy. The production was pretty messy. But
then Flower Boy was one of the best,
a beautiful masterpiece. That was one of
the decade.
That was one of my that was probably my favorite album last year. Honestly, I listened to it so much, and Okra was just a great track. He was really kind of aggressive, and the beat.
He sounds like he did on Wolf.
Yeah, it sounded a lot like his older stuff, and he just rides the beat, and it's fantastic.
What'd you think of 713?
Really enjoyed it as well. Honestly, all of the like throwaway tracks or like him rapping on someone else's beat tracks he's put out this year, I've been really impressed with, and I've really enjoyed.
I loved his closing line on 713. The I don't really fuck with y'all, motherfucker. Selfish at the orgy. That's like so good.
Yeah, he's great, and this track was great. My number 3 is After the Storm by Kali Uchis, featuring Tyler, the Creator, and Bootsy Collins.
It's Bootsy Collins,
yeah. And that track was just great, and the video is hilarious. I loved it, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. Her vocals are great. I really started...
She's Colombian, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And I started taking... I think she grew up around this area, though. I think she grew up in Alexandria.
Okay.
And,
I don't know, she's, like, ethnically Colombian.
She's not
like her herself Colombian.
Yeah. And, this track is just great. Ever since Flower Boy, with her verses
See
You Again, yeah. And I've just kind of had an eye on her, like, she's really good at singing. And After the Storm was just great. Tyler's verse fit in perfectly.
The whole album's great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's just it's just overall very good. My number 2, Honeybee by Unknown Mortal Orchestra. really, really enjoyed this song. I really liked their album a lot. I know
Sex and Food, right?
Yeah, Sex and Food. It's I think it's on my top 10.
It's a fantastic record.
Yeah, and this song was just really cool, very wavy, and I like that. So, yeah. I loved the.
I think their name, it makes you think to be like a hardcore metal group.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
it's just like very soft and
opposite.
wavy, and
yeah,
it's just great. I really enjoyed this song, and I think I heard it on YouTube first or something. I find a lot of random stuff on YouTube, and I really like it.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my number 2.
Awesome. My number 4 is off Pusha T's Daytona. It's, I believe, the 5th song on the record. What Would Meek Do, featuring Kanye West. I thought I did not know which one to pick off this record. I love all 7 of them. I knew I was not going to go with Hard Piano, only because of that cringy as fuck opening. The one about the you can fuck a bitch and she'll turn around and fuck a janitor. That was just so bad.
So nice.
And the rest of it, the whole album's great. Infrared, I love, particularly in the context of the Drake blackface. Like with that line, like the I'm a real rapper, I don't dance for crackers and sing Mammy. Like, holy shit. I heard it and I was like, oh, good Drake diss. And then I was like, oh, Drake and blackface. Oh, God. I can just totally recontextualize the whole song. And then If You Know, You Know was like this great street anthem. And the games we play is like one of the best hooks of the year. Santeria, that 070 Shake hook is incredible. But What Would Meek Do stood out to me as this just incredible anthem again about being about coming out in favor of Meek. Tell that line about I'm gonna tell the judge to go in Akinelli, talking about like the old Akinelli song Put It Up Ya. And then just that intro to Kanye's verse, because I was worried about Kanye, because this is before we heard Ye, and I was worried that it was gonna be him getting all Trumpy, but again he works that in there. He works lift yourself into the song when Push goes, motherfuckers talking shit, Ye, how do you respond? Scoop. Just like it was just so confident and funny, and it just embodied everything I loved about Daytona. And we'll talk about it again more in a little bit, but it's just such a phenomenal record, and this song is just so perfect. My number 3, probably the least known song on here, Night Shift by Lucy Dacus, off her album Historian, which we'll also talk about later. But there were a lot of good songs on this record, ones that I really wanted to blow up. I know it wasn't that big. I think it did moderately well for like an indie rock record. Yeah. But it was like we'll get into it. We'll get into it more. But Night Shift got to me as this amazing power anthem. Just you work a 9 to 5, so I'll take the night shift. Talking about this deep love she had for somebody kind of being ripped from her, or but what I liked is that it isn't generic and like, oh, you cheated on me, so you took the love. It's like I broke you, so seeing you reminds me of my faults. It's an incredibly unique, powerful, aggressive, loud song, and her performance on it is just beautiful. I thought it was an incredible song. And then my number 2, one that you had as your honorable mention, I think an underrated as fuck song, Donald Glover's, or Childish Gambino's, This Is America. I know everyone loves the video, and like you said, I know the song itself was just fine, but I thought this was such an amazingly aggressive trap song that it's him taking trap and that sound and doing it, I think, better than anybody else right now. His flow on it is just so ridiculously impressive, but then also bringing in all these trap artists to kind of do background vocals on it. The ad-libs, Offset, 21, Slim Jimmy, everyone's on there. And then, but then having it be, I don't think that's the video makes a point. The song itself is making a point as well. Talking about, literally saying, this is America, and he's blending these very soulful vocals in the two hooks, and then also this aggressive, violent trap aggression that it shows that Chu has America. Yes, we are a cultural haven where there's a lot of art all around us that we consider beautiful. There's a lot of great culture in us, but also we have more guns than anybody else, and we kill a lot of fucking people. And then also just that I've never heard Young Thug be better than that outro. Just the you a black man in this world, you a barcode, like from like a profiting off black culture, and appropriation. But it's just so incredible. So I can understand why people don't love the song, because certainly it's somewhat repetitive as a song, but just the message of it, I fucked with it so hard. I think it's an incredible track. And then now, what is your number one song of the year, Robert?
So far this year?
Yep.
I gotta go
in the first
with
7 months.
Losing You by Boy Pablo. Boy Pablo, if you don't know, he's from his parents are from Chile, but he grew up in Norway. Oh, wait, yeah, Norway, because I bought his album with Norwegian crowns. But but yeah, no, he
They use crowns in Norway?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They this track is just really good. It's very dreamy. It's very like, it's kind of one of the things I just love about Boy Pablo.
It's kind of Joji.
Yeah, kind of.
Like his voice reminds me of Joji for some reason.
His like lyrics and stuff, they're kind of like very surface level in a way, but they're very relatable and just good, and it's very catchy. And I've listened to this song countless. I listen to it like pretty much daily. Like, I just love it, and yeah, I'm really excited for his upcoming EP. I'm not sure if it's an EP or an album. Probably an EP in September. And yeah, he also had another song that dropped a couple days ago called Sick Feeling, and it's good. I think this Losing You, though, I think it's a bit better. And also the video is really cool on Losing You because, I don't know, it's just him and his friends playing their instruments, having a good time. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about Boy Pablo. I watched a couple days ago, actually, there's a live performance of them on this like show in New York, and they were playing for a YouTube video, and they played 4 or 5 tracks, and it was just a bunch of friends in a band playing their music, having a good time, joking around, you know, and I just really admire that. And yeah, it's just a great song, very catchy, and yeah,
Okay.
enjoyed it.
It's a great song.
It is.
My number one is off an album that we'll also get into later. It's off Kanye and Kid Cudi's collaborative record, Kid See Ghost. The track is Reborn. This song is just so powerful to me. That hook of I'm so reborn, I'm moving on. Like it's just so. It's catchy, but also moving, and particularly in the context of Kid Cudi's tweet from when he was admitted into an institution for depression and suicidal thoughts, when he tweeted out saying, "I'm going to come out better," and then ended with Reborn. That was 2 years ago, and then now seeing him come full circle and being in a good place now, and hearing him be on key, hearing him have that beautiful humming that I could listen to for days. And then also Kanye's impressive as hell is on here as well, like just some serious bars. And it's the song off the record that hit me the hardest, that I've been listening to nonstop. It's, I think, just a perfect song, and maybe Cudi's best since Dark Side of the Moon, honestly. All right, we're going to go into albums now.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon?
Pink Floyd.
Oh, I meant to say
Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon. Dark Side of the Moon is Pink Floyd.
I love Pink Floyd, yeah.
Yeah, no, Man on the Moon. Part 1. Okay. What are your one of your honorable mentions for best albums of the 2018 so far? The 2018.
Honestly,
2018 so far.
I haven't really listened to that many albums. Like I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but a lot of my favorite artists that I listened to the most came out with albums last year, and so they've had like singles and stuff, but nothing like album wise. So I actually struggled to even get 10, okay. And so a lot of the albums on here I've listened to and I really liked them, but they're not like I haven't listened to them that much. But yeah, so okay. I don't really have any. How about you?
Okay. So the 5 that I have first are let me see. Yay, because as overall, I love Thought About Killing You, and I like individual songs on the record a lot, but overall I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorite records of the year, so I put it in an honorable mention to like a solid record. Then Janelle Monáe's Dirty Computer, like I said, a very beautiful, glitzy art pop record with some really impressive songs. I thought it was a little disappointing just because of how much I loved the singles shot beforehand, and they didn't live quite up to the hype of those, but there's still a few amazing songs in here. One that I love was called Screwed with Zoe Kravitz on it. It's a very good album. Then one that shocked me was John Prine's The Tree of Forgiveness, one of the best country records I've heard in a while. John Prine is such an impressive vocalist, so honest, so genuine, one of the best voices I think in country history. Then I have a veteran, JPEG Mafia's new record. I love Peggy. He's just such a weird fucking dude. He's one of the most aggressive voices, like a Baby I'm Bleeding or Williamsburg. It's some of the best songs I've heard this year. And I can't wait to see what he does next and even like get some money. And then my number 11, talked about it a lot already, God's Favorite Customer. Father John Misty's new record. Not quite as good as Pure Comedy. That was my number 1 record last year. But it's very different. It's more of a return to his sort of less philosophical, less thought out. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a return to that kind of lighter side of his music. But Pure Comedy was a standout for him. That was like a different side of him. So I don't think it's necessarily wrong for him to go back to that. And there was a lot of, like I said, Please Don't Die already. There's already so many great songs on this record. Is it as good as it should have been? In my opinion, no, but it's still an amazing record. You'll like it.
I liked his.
You liked Pure Comedy?
Yeah, Pure Comedy. I really liked it.
Okay.
I should listen.
What's your number 10 then? 10, 9, and 8. I should say.
So my 10 is actually I'm gonna switch it around a little bit. I think my 10 is Black Panther.
Okay. The soundtrack.
Just because honestly, couldn't think of that many records that I've listened to this year. It had a lot of individual tracks that I enjoyed, like King's. Well, okay, that Future verse didn't really. Honestly, other than the Future verse, I actually really enjoyed that song.
Okay.
And yeah.
Did you listen to the J-Rock's record, by the way? Speaking of King's Dead.
J-Rock.
J-Rock.
Which one was that?
J-Rock.
He's also in King's
Dead. He's the main guy in King's Dead.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Okay.
It's awful.
Yeah, no, haven't not listened to that. So yeah, it was. I had to put something there,
Yeah.
Number 9, I gotta go with Beer Bongs and Bentleys, Post Malone. I actually was impressed. Before this album, he had a few okay songs. I thought, like, I know,
like I Fall Apart.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I feel like a lot of people loved those songs, like especially Congratulations was very popular, and everyone was like, "Yeah, that's so good. How do you not like him?"
It was played to death.
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, it's fine. It's not that good, but
his vocals
this album,
were awful.
Yeah.
On the first record, he had no vocal skill.
Yeah, I thought this record was really not excellent. There were a lot of tracks on it that were just meh, but
It was just too long.
Yeah. I think if he had just shortened it, because there were quite a bit of good tracks like Better Now,
Paranoid.
Over
Now.
Psycho. What's it called?
Rockstar.
Yeah. I liked
Rich and Sad. I like a lot.
There's the interlude one. I actually really like that one.
Oh. I don't know.
Jonestown.
Oh, Jonestown.
Yeah.
Jonestown.
I really like that one. Yeah, I just thought it was a pretty solid record, especially
he
like...
for sure got a vocal coach.
Yeah.
For fucking sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've also been, I don't know, I just really kind of like him as a person.
Yeah, he seems fun.
He's a fun guy. I've been watching the H3 podcast, and he's on there a lot. Not a lot, but he's been on it a couple times, and every time he just seems like a genuine guy.
Do you not know who that is?
No, I know. No, you just had your shirt covering your mouth like a terrorist for a little bit. You had a bandana and your shirt covering your face, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
Anyways,
I just had it noticed when I turned and saw you.
Number 7. Number 8. Number 8. Number 8. Sex and Food, Unknown Mortal Orchestra. I like this album a lot.
It was great.
It was dreamy. It was wavy.
The album art's gorgeous too.
Oh yeah.
Cover art.
Yeah, it was just good. I really like I think I had heard their I definitely heard their I don't know if it was their last album, I forget what it's called. The cover, it's like orange. It has orange in it and black, and
fact checker.
It's an Unknown Mortal Orchestra album. I found them from that, and so I listened to this one, or I kind of forgot about them after listening to that, and I listened to a couple of the songs off of their previous record many times, and then I encountered a song off of this album, which was actually my number 2, Honeybee.
Yep.
And I just started listening to this album. I'm like, yeah, these guys are really talented.
It's a great album.
Well, guys and girls, but yeah, really talented. What the hell? Okay, yeah, never mind. Anyway, your turn.
All right, my number 10 is from one of my favorite rock groups right now, the Screaming Females. The record's called All at Once. It's this loud, angry, but also very kind of replayable, very poppy rock record. There's so many great tracks in here, like All at Once or I'll Make You Sorry, which is one of I came so close to putting that on my songs of the year list. Just an incredible hook. I'll make you sorry. Like, it's just this. It's an incredible record. I love it a lot. Then my number 9, Death Grips' new record, The Year of the Snitch. I was so disappointed by their last record, Bottomless Pit, which just sounded so lost in itself and so kind of tired. Whereas this one, it's them at their best blending of experimentation and also popability. Since the Money Store, at least, it's just such a unique sound, and then just so many just pure fucking bangers on here. Death Grips is Online, and what's the arrest of, or what do you know, Robert? About it's like a woman's name and then like arrested. What the fuck is it called? I don't know. It's like. I don't know. Do you know? Like, just look up Year of the Snitch. This is some dead air right now. Let's see. Oh, Linda's in Custody. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah.
And like that interlude, the horn section where it's just horns playing for like a minute and a half. It's an incredible album. It's maybe their weirdest album yet, but also just so replayable. Yeah. Fantastic record. And then my number 8, Twin Fantasy, the Redux. Basically, it's car seat headrest. They took, or he, I guess I was first. It's one guy. Yeah, he had a record on Bandcamp called Twin Fantasy that kind of blew him up, got him a deal, kind of made him famous. But it was a Bandcamp record, so it sounded like fucking pure garbage. It was a great record, but it was he didn't have any mixing or mastering capabilities on Bandcamp back then. So he went back, reduxed it. He added entire lines and choruses and drum sections and riffs all over the record. It's an amazing record. Tracks like Cute Thing and My Boy still bang, and his voice is just so impressive. And he no one sounds like him. No one in the current indie rock scene sounds as sort of forlorn and lovey as him, while still remaining that kind of aggro tension of his music.
I gotta listen to that.
You're gonna listen to it?
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I like indie rock.
Yeah.
Although I listen to more like indie rock. Oh no, I was just talking to you like as an aside.
Oh, as an aside.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I listen to indie rock a lot, but the indie rock I listen to, I would consider to be like, or I think Aiden would consider, because I remember driving him in the car one time, and you were like, "What is this? I've never heard this before." Like I listen to like very indie rock.
Like what?
Like, well, the Buttertones at the time at least
They're great.
really.
I know the Buttertones.
Yeah, they were weird. I was listening to, I think I was listening to Skip Tracing by Mild High Club, and you were like, "What? I've never heard this before. What? Who is?"
I
that?"
like them though.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Both of their records are really good. But yeah, sorry. Go on.
No, I'm done now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I did my 9 and 8.
Oh,
So now
shoot.
now
So
your
now I'm
7,
on
6,
my
and
7,
5.
6, 5. Okay. Number 7, Isolation, Caliucci's. I really enjoyed this record.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of really good tracks. I feel like her vocals didn't sound as confident as they could. I thought throughout the record it sounded more...
I didn't love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know you loved it.
I
thought it was
really
very
loved
good.
it.
I thought it was very good.
I loved it. I thought it was nice. I really enjoyed pretty much most of the tracks. I just wish her vocals are great. I just wish she would. It sounded like she would run out of air, sometimes.
I thought the production kind of outshone her throughout. That was like my main issue.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the beats were incredible.
They
and
were.
And then her vocal form was like good.
Yeah. I think if she just gets more confident or is able to breathe less, I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like
That affects
just
like a
kinda-
lot of
yeah,
Latin
she
pop
just-
stars though when they're younger.
maybe.
Yeah.
But she just she ran out of air a lot, it seemed, and so there's just a bit left to be desired. My number 6 is Year of the Snitch, Death Grips. Aiden already talked about it a lot, so I won't really go into it too much. I really like Death Grips. I have to be in a certain mood to listen to them, but it's crazy.
I think
it's wild.
This was their most
abstract.
Like you can jump into something like the easiest though. I think,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
any of them.
yeah. I would agree.
It's the least like angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then number 5, Daytona, Pusha T. I think you already talked about that.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't talked about that yet?
It's higher on my list.
Oh, yeah. Wow, you put it at number 3. But yeah, I really enjoyed this album. I'll let you talk about it more because I think you probably listened to it more than I listened to it. I listened to it probably like 2 or 3 times. But yeah, like you were mentioning earlier, a lot of the tracks were just, wow, they were really good. So yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Did I let it?
That's it. 5, 7, 6, 5.
All right, cool. My number 7 is Sophie's new record, The Oil of Every Pearl's Uninsides. This is maybe the best computer pop record I've ever heard. The production on this thing is batshit crazy. Tracks like Pony Boy, I think it's like one of the best tracks of the year so far. I thought it was this really glitzy, great computer pop record. It had some cohesion issues, but overall I thought it was a pretty amazing record. My number 6 is Streams of Thought Volume 1. Talked about it last episode. This is Black Thought 5-song EP, produced all by Ninth Wonder. I thought this was one of the best old school boom bap rap records, jazz rap kind of, that I've heard in a long time. Black Thought is my number 1 MC of all time, and this was everything I wanted to be and more. Making a Murderer is an incredible track off it, as well as Dostoevsky featuring Rhapsody. Just a great record. My number 5 is this band called the Young Fathers, and it's their record Cocoa Sugar. This UK hip hop pop rap group that put together some really unique, interesting, very soulful, and very kind of dreamy, lovey tracks. Some standouts were In My View, Tremolo, Border Girl, Fee Fi Fo. Just an incredible record, and a really unique one. I don't heard anything like it. All right. And now, what are your number 4, 3, and 2, Robert?
Number 4, I have Ye by Kanye. Sorry, I've been waiting to say that. I mean, yeah, you already talked about it a lot, so I won't really go into it, but it was good. I liked it. Number 3, what?
I said it was a good record.
Yeah. Number 3, Midnight in a Moonless Dream by the Buttertones. Now, this is actually probably one of my least favorite records by them so far.
Okay.
But, that being said, still loved it. You know, it has those aggressive, just, like, kind of wild, crazy tracks, such as, like, Baby C4 and Me and My Knife? Something like that.
Yeah.
Something about a knife. But yeah, and then, but it also has their sweet moments like, Darling, I Need Time, but Don't Really Know Why. I think I talked about the Buttertones earlier.
Yeah, you did.
I love them. They're wonderful. And, yeah, they're great.
So You and Your Knife.
You and Your Knife, yeah. And, yeah, so they're just great, and this record I thought was really good. It had a lot of diversity in their tracks. But again, I think I definitely prefer some of their older track. Like, I really enjoyed last year's Grave Digging and stuff, but yeah. Anyway, my number 2 is Kids See Ghost by Kanye. Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi.
Cudi montage.
Yeah, I sound like a retard on this. Anyways,
Kid Cudi.
I'll let you go into it more because I know it's
on my list.
It's on your list.
We'll say that.
But yeah, it was just fantastic.
Mm.
Very, very, very wonderful record.
Yes. All right, that's your. 4,
Yeah,
3, and
that's
2.
my 4, 3, 2.
My number 4 is, I think, the best jazz record I've heard in years. This UK jazz group called Sons of Kemet, and their first full-length album, Your Queen is a Reptile. Just this beautiful, aggressive, and very deeply black jazz record that celebrates African culture. Just like look at like their name alone, Sons of Kemet. Just like looking at just like the way that they're looking at African folklore as like a major inspiration for half the songs on here. Probably the standout for me is one called My Queen is Ada Eastman, which is has some of the most ridiculously mad, wild, crazy drums I've ever heard from the jazz record. It's so quintessentially London as well. There's no other jazz scene like the London jazz scene, in my opinion, at least in the past 25 years, I would say. And this is an immaculate record that I hadn't heard of them before. And then when I listened to the record, it just took me back. It's incredible. Also, if you're into jazz, check out one that I heard so recently that I wasn't sure if I was going to put it on here, but Kamasi Washington's 2.5-hour epic Heaven and Earth is fantastic as well. Came out about a week ago. It's fantastic.
I love jazz.
And then my number 2 record my number 3 record of the year is one that you also had on your list, Pusha T's Daytona. I already talked about it a lot, kind of broke down like almost every track on there earlier. But just like summing it up, this is an incredible, very particularly street, very this blending of like early 2000s rhyme schemes. I mean, Pusha started out with Clips and his brother in that group, and he blends that old school southern street flow with Kanye's beautiful minimalist production, and I think it's one of the best, most concise rap records in years. Really stood out to me. My number 2, an album that features a song I already talked about earlier, Historian by Lucy Dacus, one that I think I introduced Robert to back when it came out in March.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I kind of forgot about that record, but
Yeah.
I probably would have put it on my list somewhere. I did really enjoy it.
Okay. I loved tracks like Night Shift, which I already said, but then also looking at songs like Pillar of Truth, talking about how she's afraid to love somebody because they're so perfect, or Body in Flame, or let me see what you're gonna get track list are here right now. Oh, Yours and Mine, which is an incredible song with that the hook about the house and the barn going up in flames, or the single shot beforehand, Addictions, which is just so sad. And then maybe my favorite opening to a song all year is her opening off Non-Believer, talking about how this woman that this friend of hers, talking about how her friend threw her books into the river, told his mom that he's a non-believer. It's just a really emotional song. And I loved that she has that sort of sound that a lot of indie rock people have in terms of her vocals. People like Waxahachie, or even looking at male groups like Manchester Orchestra. But what I love is that she has her own sound with the production, which is, it's a little more akin to like Manchester Orchestra than it is like a lot of like the sort of, in my opinion, overly laid back kind of lazy production that a lot of the other modern indie rock groups have. Her sound is just so particular to her, and I think really loud, which is nice to see in terms of indie rock. Because indie rock, I think the production can, nowadays it can have something like little thought put into it, and they focus on vocals and lyricism, which is great. Obviously, it's good to have that, but I feel like in rock we kind of lost that aggro sound, and it's nice to hear that overlaid with this beautiful, sweet, lovely lyrics and vocals. And now, your number one album of the year so far.
So far, gotta go with Little Dark Age by MGMT.
I forgot about this record.
Love this record so much. I've been listening. There are probably 3 or so songs on it that I listen to all the time.
Me and Michael. I just saw that one.
Yeah.
Me and Michael's so damn good.
Yeah, it is. It's just fantastic. When You Die, great. She Works Out Too Much. Love that track as well. I mean, it's just a wonderful album. I love the production on it. It just sounds great with the synths, and it's very wavy. It reminds me a little bit of Mild High Club, which was one of my favorite albums last year, with Skip Tracing, and I was really not expecting this to come from MGMT, and wow, I just love it. It's great.
What was the Cuddy song that featured MGMT? Do you know? Pursuit of Happiness. I always forget that they did like a lot of the production for that song.
I have no idea. That's
I was
crazy.
just thinking about that. That's an incredible record. I totally forgot about it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been on your list or no?
I think it probably would have gone in my honorable mentions, maybe.
Yeah. All right. That's fair.
But my number one record of the year was your number two. It's Kids See Ghosts. It's a perfect record, I think. Just opening with that, wanna feel the love, like just, like it's just,
It's so good.
And then, you have the weird track list.
What?
That is not the album.
You're serious?
Yeah, you have the. Sorry, we're looking at Robert's. His Apple Music is open, and it's the it's not.
No.
No, it's just music.
Yeah.
This is the he has the cut of it before they changed the titles and reordered it. Like you have Cuddy Montage at 2. That's the closer now.
The one of first release.
And he has songs like Ecstasy with Ty Dolla $ign, which is not a song, or Devil's Watching, which is not a song.
I like the other version of it. Yeah, I haven't listened to this one.
This one is much better.
That's crazy.
What you've been listening?
Or like songs like Fourth Dimension, which is just so aggressive. Or I love Ghost Town Part 2, or just free. Like it's like them, Kanye and Cudi's like proclamation. Just I feel free. Like it feels free. Like the song itself feels free and open. And then Kids See Ghosts featuring Mos Def. One, it's a great song, but then the second that Mos Def, or Yasin Bey, is that they call him on the track, appears, he has one of the most sagacious verses I've ever heard, and makes the song a masterpiece, I think. And then closing with that hyper political, hyper beautiful Cudi montage. It's a great song. It's a sad song. But ultimately, I do think that Reborn is the best example of just how beautiful, how melodic, how genuine, how open, how free this record is. I think it's the best album of the decade. I still think that. I remember when I first heard it, and I thought that it was a very solid album. And I've heard it dozens of times now in the past month, and it's grown on me so tremendously. I think that it stands alongside T-Pab and Jid's Never Story and a few other albums as the best of the decade. And it's only out for a month, but it's one of the albums I've heard the most in my life already. I've heard it literally. I've heard it dozens of times.
Oh my!
I've listened.
7 tracks. So.
I listened to it on repeat for days. Just this album, and it's an incredible album. I'll never forget it.
What?
I liked it, but I haven't listened to it that much.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal.
My life.
I need to listen to the final version.
Okay.
What version did I have?
When it first released.
Yeah, you have. I remember like that was one that was on SoundCloud first.
Yeah, that's
and then I kept listening to it, and I realized that the album repeats itself on that version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Cudi Montage and Fourth Dimension are the same song.
Yeah, the same exact song.
Like you've probably never heard Cudi Montage.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Is that your number 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my.
So even like with the shit version,
It was still good.
Yeah.
I mean, damn.
Wow.
Damn.
Your eyes are so wide. You're like, holy shit.
I think I listened to it on. I need to get Spotify Premium. Damn.
You do.
Dude.
How much is that?
It's like $8, $9
A month?
Yeah.
Damn, I don't have money. All right.
Can we get sponsorship?
Yeah. We gotta get some
Please hit me
sponsor on
up.
the show.
Yeah.
Encore, I need to.
If we get sponsored, you can get it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So talking about we've kind of finished that. Honestly, I don't really feel like talking about movies and shows today. But I know that Ramsey wanted to plug a few, so you do that. Yeah, I don't really feel like doing that, so when you do
Okay.
Ramsey, you plug it.
If I'm just gonna mention some films like 2018 in general.
Yeah, just a few.
I only have 2 that are like really standouts to me. The first one's Hereditary, which I think
We
talked about
went
last
like
week.
full and different.
Yeah,
one,
that's
I haven't seen that.
fantastic.
When did it-
Godlike.
one of
when
the
did it come out?
greatest horror films I have ever seen.
It's
When
great.
did it come out?
June 8th or something like
Oh,
that.
it's still in theaters?
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, I'll go see it maybe.
Yeah.
Next weekend.
It has the same producers as The Witch, which is another one of my favorite movies, and I think it just perfectly nails atmospheric horror. Like, I feel like in like today's day and age, we get a lot of jump scare horror, and it does such a great job of just scaring the absolute crap out of you without
It's fucking
relying.
horrifying.
Yeah, like the entire time I'm like nervous, like I'm just tense.
And it implies so much. There's a lot. I don't want to. We already like went super in depth.
Yeah.
We had like a 20-minute thing about that last time, but it's the just the implications it has regarding mental health are fascinating. It's a brilliant.
Is that the
Also,
one?
What?
Is that the one with like? I don't want to sound stupid.
Toni Collette.
Tony Collette.
Tony Collette?
I
She's
don't.
the main character.
I don't know the.
Alex Wolff.
I don't know actors' names.
Okay.
We
Is
just
that
brought
is
it
it the
out.
one about the guy that has like? What's it about? Kate?
It's the
It's
main
the one
character's
with
a
the,
woman.
like,
It's the main
little-
character's a woman. What with the girl that looks kind of weird,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah,
she like
yeah,
clips the
that's-
bird's head off.
That was good.
Yeah,
That was
amazing.
astounding.
yeah. It was,
Oh, I didn't see
Astounding.
that.
it's like in my
Yeah.
top 5.
I
of
saw
the
the
year.
It's actually,
trailer.
like,
Some-
one of
I
the
was
movies
like,
this year.
it looks really like I don't know.
It was mismarketed, I think.
Yeah.
Was it?
I think the performances also make it stand out because Toni Collette,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Alex Wolff
is really great.
Wow.
Gabriel Byrne is fantastic.
Is that the dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Dowd is wonderful.
I
as,
love the dad's character as being this like standard guy.
Regular.
Well, like,
All this shit's happening.
Yeah.
but he also has depth. He isn't just the horror movie dad who's like, oh, I don't know, women can be crazy.
Yeah.
Like he has legitimate reasons, in the couple's past for why he questions her.
Yeah.
And why he's scared of her.
And I appreciate the fact that he gets pushed to like this point where he's like is fed up and
Yeah,
he,
it's
like,
enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like him being like, oh, come on, honey. It's like he's like, I see the path you are going down, and I don't trust it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one I was going to mention was Isle of Dogs.
Was that good? I really wanted to see it, and I didn't have time. But
it-
now it's out of theaters.
Like looking at like I've seen like I think 11 films in 2018 and
Catch your ass up.
what?
Catch your ass
Yeah,
up.
I really need to. But it's definitely one of the best films. Like, just Wes Anderson's directing style stands out a lot. Like, just the quirkiness of the film, I completely loved it. Following the story of, like, a little boy just trying to find his dog. I don't know, it was a beautiful story. And I love the art of it as well. Stop motion. Is that what it's called?
It's
claymation.
No,
Yeah.
it's stop motion.
It's
Stop
stop
motion.
motion. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stop motion.
Was it still in theaters? Probably.
No, it's
No,
not.
absolutely not.
It'll be on Blu-ray soon though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't afford
No, like rental too. Like it'll be
Rental?
out. Yeah.
it. Maybe it'll be on
No, it won't be. I thought I would like that movie more. I liked it. I think it's very good. It's just it hasn't like stuck with me the same way a lot of his films do.
When did it come out?
March.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get to see it.
If
the worst time ever.
if I gotta give like a shout out to I would say Sorry to Bother You, which I saw over the weekend, is a phenomenal, batshit insane, political absurdist comedy. That is probably my favorite film of the year. That really stuck with me. I haven't sat with it enough to know. And then another one, I want to see movies that are in theaters.
Yeah.
And another one I wanted to say, go see. It's a documentary. Won't You Be My Neighbor? Yes.
I really want to see that.
It's Mr. Rogers, this in-depth, emotional look into his life, into the impact he had on so many, on his mindset, and also how he would look at the world today by the end of it. It'll break your heart in half and then piece it back together. It's a wonderful fucking movie.
I need to see that.
Yeah.
Were any of these not good?
So what are these?
These are the movies I saw this year.
Ant-Man was okay. Ocean's 8, I really enjoyed.
Really?
I thought it was great. American Animals, I love. I think that's one of the best movies of the year. Deadpool 2, I thought was fun. Infinity War, I'm not a big fan of. A Quiet Place, I think it's a little overrated, but it's still very good.
Yeah,
I like
I
it.
completely
It's
agree
good.
with that.
Yeah. I still think it's great, though. Unsane, I did not like.
Yeah.
I thought was one of Soderbergh's weakest movies in a long time. Black Panther's phenomenal. And I deeply, deeply hate The Greatest Showman.
Dang.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked the music.
I hated it.
I saw it with my girlfriend. She made me go see it. But I'm kind of glad she did. It was fun.
I did too, but it was on I didn't see it in theater, I saw it on Blu-ray.
I saw it in theater.
I had to watch the sing-along version.
Ooh.
Did you sing along?
No.
Oh.
She wanted to go to the sing-along version, but I was like, I'm not singing
You-
along.
Put your foot down on
And
that.
I was like,
Yeah.
no, let's just see the
You,
regular
you
version.
can force me to see the film. You're not forcing me to sing along.
I liked it though. I liked it. The songs were good.
I thought it was just like 2 hours of like, oh, here's the opposite of history.
Here's all of it, yeah.
Here's him being a nice guy when in reality he was a racist, sexist fuck of a dude.
Yeah.
But
I don't know the history behind it. Although I think my
P.T.
my
Barnum.
girlfriend was saying like, don't look up this guy because it'll ruin the movie.
he's such a piece of shit.
Yeah,
just like
P.T.
an
Barnum.
objective piece of shit.
Yeah.
But but then it also like it paints him in a good light, and then paints that what's the girl's name, the singer, that like she like lies and she has an affair with him.
Fucking
Oh.
Yeah.
So-
In reality, she was like a wonderful person that did like charities all across the world.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, she was a slut. It's like, no, she was a great person. P.T. Barnum was the asshole.
Yeah.
Or like how it paints him as being like, oh, I'm letting the world see you for who you are. It's like, no, you were just profiting. All people like laughing at them.
Yeah.
Like,
Jenny Lynn?
yeah, that's what it is. I really didn't like, and then the music I thought was like third-rate radio garbage. I'll be honest.
Damn.
I thought the singing was good.
The vocal
Yeah.
performances are great, but it's just so pandery.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, this is me. I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to sing it.
How
Yeah.
about The Other Side? The scene
Oh.
with...
Oh.
Really? You didn't like that?
Oh wait, no, I hated the song, but I loved the choreography.
Oh, that
with
is
the Zac Efron.
Yeah, and
Hugh Jackman
Hugh
one.
Jackman.
But like it just like
In the bar.
yeah.
I love that one. That one
It
was-
just
that
like
one
it
I
just like
really liked.
brushed past like weird plot points like the like the relationship between Zac Efron and Zendaya
Yeah.
like has no importance.
Yeah, and like it just like pops up a few times and it's like progressed ridiculously far.
Or like the opening was just weird and creepy. Jumping from like them being kids to like Hugh Jackman pretending that he's 25. It's like you're like
Oh, yeah,
50
he did
years
not
old,
look
dude.
25.
It's like, I know.
you look great, but you do not.
And
look
also
25.
just the fact of Hugh Jackman playing P.T. Barnum. You ever seen a picture of P.T. Barnum?
No.
He doesn't look like Hugh Jackman. We'll say that. He looks like he's like a short little fat
Oh my
dude.
god.
he's not
Is it
not
really
exactly
Who is this
Hugh
guy?
Jackman.
Oh, Jesus.
He's not
Oh,
a
Jesus.
yeah, he's not
Can you
a
please link a photo? Of
I
him in the
will.
podcast?
I'll put it in the description. He's not a huge jacked man. All right, so we're gonna talk about we're gonna kind of move into like our discussion format. I think today, because we don't have too much time left, we're kind of went a little over long today, but we're gonna talk about we're just each gonna do a little story real quick, and like we did last episode. And Robert, what's your story for today? Just anything from your life, a story you want to tell.
It's kind of a dumb story, but I think it's pretty funny. So in my economics and personal finance class this year, I was one of the few juniors. Most of my class were a bunch of seniors, and they were very interesting people, to say the least. They were notorious for never... honestly, don't think there was one class where they would be on time. And this class, they were particularly late. And you could hear them coming from down the hallway because they were pretty loud, you know. But this time was a bit different than normal. They come down the hallway about 5 to 10 minutes after the class had already started with a portable speaker. And it's playing that Cut My Life Into Pieces. This is my last resort. So you just you look at the door when you hear them coming, and it just kind of stops, and then you hear, "Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort." And then they all just start running into the classroom and jumping up and down. Suffocation, no breathing, don't give up on me. And it just goes on, blaring super damn loud. And my teacher's just kind of standing there. He's holding a clipboard, just like looking at them like, why am I doing?
Wait, so like was it like a group? Like how many people was it?
It was
If,
probably
like, in the group.
8 to 10 people.
Jesus.
I'm not even lying.
I wasn't like 3 people.
No, it wasn't just 3 people. It was probably 8 to 10 people, all seniors, all very late, and they just come in, jumping up and down as soon as the with the guitar, and
What did your teacher do? Did he just?
my teacher, honestly, great teacher, Mr. C. Shout out, Mr. C. He was very chill about it.
I'll plug his Twitter.
You know, I don't know if he has a Twitter, but he was very chill about it. You know, he was just like, "All right, guys, sit down." And yeah, it was interesting. That class, it was actually a pretty fun class, and I can just say the seniors made it very interesting, day to day. So yeah, that's my story for today.
All right, that's a fucking great story.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna do mine real quick, and it's vaguely sensitive, so I'm not going to use the names of anybody involved. but I do think it's worth telling, and I don't think that it ultimately matters as long as I don't use their names. But this was in December of last year. I know this because it was the night before and morning before that I saw The Last Jedi. So it was great, right? Yeah, it was the night of December 13th, morning December 14th. And you don't like The Last Jedi.
No,
He has the wrong opinion.
A debate for another time. But the
Should have Star Wars.
we should. Wow, that's a good idea. We'll do. And then so basically, I had an open house for about 4 days, and this was back before I stopped drinking. So I was very, very drunk that night because I had an open house and I was dumb and alone. So I got a little too drunk and I was on the phone with a friend of mine, and I was talking to him, and he convinced me that I should hook up with this girl that I'd been talking to for a long time, and that had, we'll say made advances in the past, but that I had some issues with morally and wasn't really interested in pursuing a relationship. But he ended up convincing me that I should hook up with her. And then some incidents pursued that I won't get into over the course of that night. And then the next morning I woke up with the worst hangover of my life, and receiving text from the girl saying, "Hey, so is 4 o'clock good to come over?" And I said, "What? No, what?" Having no clue what the fuck she was talking about. And then I get text saying, "Ha ha ha ha! Oh, you're so funny." And then I start calling. I start calling my friend, and I'm saying, "Hey, what the fuck is this? Apparently I'm supposed to be doing this." And he goes like, "Oh yeah, you are." And
You were really
it was bad. Fireball's a miracle worker.
Yeah, lots of
but then I end up I talk to the girl. I tell her, "Hey, was not in the best state last night. Don't ever want to do that. Sorry." And then again, she thinks that I'm joking. She's like, whatever. And then I'm like, "No, I'm serious. Like, no, like, sorry. We can still be friends, but not no." And then continued the conversation for a long time. I kind of this was definitely one of the incidents I kind of told me, like, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't drink."
Alcohol is bad.
And I kind of got lost in my own head. Got a little depressed for the whole day. And then at about 4:20, I started to hear bang, bang, bang on my door, kind of rapping. So I look out my little eye hole, and she's there. And then I see a bunch of missed calls, and I look at them as voicemails, and the girl had run about 25 minutes to get to my house.
Oh my god.
And then I called my friend and I said, "Hey, what the fuck is going on?" And he said, "Oh yeah, you're fucking her, right?" And I said, "No." And then he said, "Why not?" I then find out he's texting her the base. I'm not opening the door. My dogs are freaking the fuck out, barking. And apparently he texts her and tells her, just like break one of those back windows and go in the house.
Oh my god.
And or according to him, she considered it, but luckily did not go through with it. But I end up just crawling to my basement door and rolling myself down the stairs, trying to just avoid her. I get like 5 more missed calls. She stands at my door for about 25 minutes.
It should be stated that Aiden is very hot, so I
wouldn't say that.
She was justified.
I wouldn't say that. Thank you for the blowjob motion, Nick. Then I stay downstairs. I'm on the phone with my friend for a while. We're just talking through this, And I got kind of pissed at him for taking advantage of my stupid state to allow this to happen, even though it would have been objectively fucking hilarious. She ends up running back home, and our relationship was, to say the least, a little strained after that. But I'll really never will forget the rapping at my door, so that my friend could have his dream of two idiots fucking for the first time. Yep.
Oh my
That was
God.
a
Great story.
phenomenal story.
That is why
It's a story.
I have never drank. I will not drink.
Don't. It's
Yeah,
very
I will
very
not.
dumb. It can make you do some dumbass things.
Yeah.
I was not thinking about starting, and now I'm very not.
This
thinking about
confirms.
starting. This just confirms.
To be fair, I'm an alcoholic. There's people that can drink and be normal people,
Oh, okay.
but I can't.
Once I turn 21.
Once you be a legal boy.
Yeah.
Be a legal boy. Well, I'll say I think your story was a little better than Nick's last week. I'll say
It
that.
was fucking trash.
It was not the best.
I'll make one.
Hey,
You'll make up
I'll make a story. I'll make up a story.
Okay, cool. And I want to thank Nick and I want to thank Graham for being our fact checkers today, and for Graham for being our gracious host once again.
Oh, yeah, thanks, man.
And then I want to thank Robert for committing to this almost 2.5 hours now. This is a long ass podcast today.
Yeah.
Thank you for committing. Thank you
Of
for
course.
putting the work in to get these lists
10 albums,
made,
yeah.
to get these
Have me at
thoughts
the
on
end
these
of the
tracks.
year. I'll
We'll come back. We can
I'm
update our
excited
lists.
for a couple.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
we're just gonna. We gotta see
Brockhampton.
Travis Scott,
Travis Scott.
Astro World.
But yeah.
You don't like Travis Scott?
In the future or in the past,
Yeah,
No.
his first record,
I have not heard it.
Rodeo.
I will listen
Check
to
it out.
I'll give it a listen.
Very cool, very aggressive.
But yeah.
Well, thank you again. Thanks for
fun.
listening.
It's fun.
Thank you.
We're
for
shaking
Robert.
hands right now. Firm handshakes.
Very firm handshake. And next week, I think we're going to have a very special guest. I'm very excited to hear some of his thoughts. It's going to be a non-music centric podcast next week. And the first two, we've been very in the lane of music. I think next week we're going to go a little more into politics, a little more into philosophy next week. I'm very excited to see that. But this is a good episode as well, I think. Hopefully. Hopefully you
That'd be
enjoyed
nice.
it.
For my sake,
Hopefully.
I hope so, or else I won't be invited back.
Hopefully, you guys are going to return next week and every week that we do this. I'm sorry we didn't get an episode last week, but we're going to be a little more steady from now on. And that we have a little more consistent for our recording space. But thank you again. Have a good one. This is the Mintcast. Peace the fuck out.